just submit it either to Kapil sir or maybe Ankit sir. करवा लो वो ऑफिस में बोलते हैं हाँ that ID card will work for you. Especially in some library. I have connections in DU library, JNU library. कभी जाने का मौका मिलता है by chance, you can just go and tell them. The librarians are known. मेरे friendly relations हैं, तो वो normally हमारे कार्ड देख के allow कर देते हैं. Normally allow कर देते हैं, okay? Exceptionally रोक भी सकते हैं. Along with that, you will have an ID card. ठीक है? That gives you a better sense. How many of you have received the bags, coaching bags? जिनको नहीं मिला वो भी कोऑर्डिनेट करो प्लीज. कपिल सर इतने सारे बैग ऑफिस में पड़े दे दो. गुड मॉर्निंग. अंकित पहले से ऑन था ये. Okay, so we have to deal with tragedy. Third phase of Shakespeare's career. Third phase. इसमें और इसमें स्पेलिंग में क्या डिफरेंस? अगर मैं ये एच लगा दूं और ये ई लगा दूं, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? हाँ, what is wrong right now in the spelling? H is wrong. What if I remove E? Come on. Yes. If I just add E, it is wrong. So this H, it is wrong. But if I just remove E, is it right or wrong? ये ज्यादा सही है या if I remove E, which one is more correct? Which one is more correct? ठीक है. You have studied William Shakespeare in your graduation, post-graduation. Shakespeare is taken for granted also. Like everybody knows Shakespeare तो आता ही है. तो बताओ, we have done this. We have talked about this thing. In one of my introductory class about William Shakespeare, I talked about this thing. Yes. Who removed E from the spelling? Good. So this is the spelling that we accept, right? But if you remove E, this is done by Thomas Bowdler. Thomas Bowdler, his sister Henrietta Bowdler. These people removed, changed E, or you can say they did a lot of changes in Shakespeare. They are the first people to do a lot of changes in Shakespeare. They wrote a famous work. What was the name of the work written by this brother and sister? The Family Shakespeare. क्वेश्चन है ये, नेट एग्जाम का पहला क्वेश्चन आ गया था 2017 या 18 का क्वेश्चन नंबर 1. So before that question I knew about Thomas Bowdler, but in that question they added Henrietta Bowdler with Thomas Bowdler, so I got to know the name of the sister also. This is a question. Family Shakespeare, written by Thomas Bowdler, Henrietta Bowdler, is the first work that does censorship on Shakespeare. क्या है ये work? Censorship. In this work, Shakespeare was censored. What do you mean by censored? Censor board. Censor board. What is the task of censor board, Bollywood? To expurgate, eliminate certain scenes which are either violent or obscene or has some remarks on particular community, caste or something which is objectionable. Censor board का काम क्या होता है कि कोई भी ऐसी चीज जो किसी व्यवस्था को या किसी पर्टिकुलर व्यक्ति विशेष को टारगेट करे,
There are a lot of smoking scenes. So now if you cut the smoking scenes and drinking scenes, then the dramas, the movies won't look real. They will look artificial. So censor board came with a line. So when the hero is smoking on the screen, there is a line. Smoking is injurious to health. Just like that, censoring. Thomas Bowdler is the first person who did censoring of Shakespeare. And now the censorship is also called Bowdlerism. ये आपको याद रखना है, बहुत किसी को नहीं पता होगा ये. सेंसरशिप का एक और वर्ड है बाउडलरिज्म. सेंसरशिप का एक और वर्ड है बाउडलरिज्म. थॉमस बाउडलर के नाम से है. Suppose I make a tough question. I give you a paragraph and I ask you to Bowdlerize it. So will you understand? When Thomas Bowdler was a kid, his father was a fan of Shakespeare. And his father would read Shakespearean stories for the kid. When we were kids, we used to watch television with our parents. जब हम छोटे बच्चे थे, पेरेंट्स के साथ टीवी देखते थे, तो कई बार ऐसा होता था चैनल चेंज कर देते हैं पेरेंट्स, knowing that certain scenes, certain things are not good for kids, so they prefer to another channel. That is called Bowdlerism, censorship. So Thomas Bowdler says, when my father used to read William Shakespeare stories, or we simply say William Shakespeare, he would read it for me, for my mother. But I felt that knowingly he omits certain words, certain things. He explains certain things in a different way. He changes certain things. This gave me the idea that William Shakespeare needs to be censored. Technically, censorship Shakespeare may not required. बहुत clean writer है, but not 100% clean. In Macbeth, the porter scene is obscene scene, double meaning. So people say that Shakespeare's porter scene is not written by him. It is written by someone else. They say Thomas Nash has written porter scene. Then Shakespeare's some words, the Shakespeare was actually using euphemistic style. अगर शेक्सपियर को physical intimacy की भी बात करनी है, तो he is not using the word sex. He is using the beast with double back. As a references use कर रहे हैं. So Shakespeare is almost really clean. 90% clean है. But still we felt, because vulgarity is not the only thing that you have to censor. You have to censor violent scenes. You have to censor abusive words. छोटे बच्चों के साथ आप अगर ऐसी फिल्में देख रहे हैं जिसमें गालियां बहुत हैं, बच्चे तो कैच करते हैं, बच्चे कैच कर लेंगे, तो वहां सेंसरशिप चाहिए. When Lady Macbeth, she has blood on her hands and she is washing her hands, cleaning her hands. She comes with word damn with these hands. The word damn has been removed. In Henry IV, the prostitute character Lucy, she has been removed. For kids, the concept of suicide should never be introduced. 8वीं 9वीं के बच्चों को सुसाइड सिखाओगे, रिस्क हो जाएगा. 10th क्लास का प्रेशर नहीं हैंडल कर पाएंगे. So the suicide of Ophelia, Hamlet's beloved, that got converted into accidental drowning. That she went close to water and she drowned. So we are going to deal with tragedies, and that's why I reminded you of this work, these things, because in tragedies there are most of the scenes got changed. Bowdler ने बहुत सारी scenes को change कर दिया था. Now let's talk about tragedy by William Shakespeare, phase 3. So now you understood who changed the spelling of Shakespeare. Who changed the spelling of Shakespeare and what was the change? Now let's deal with tragedy, the third phase. Phase 3, Shakespeare's career. Till now in tragedy we have talked about Julius Caesar, we have talked about Titus Andronicus, one small reference of Romeo and Juliet. Now we're going to have greatest tragedies. Now third phase, this phase is called phase of depth and maturity. Shakespeare became a mature writer. This phase is called the phase of depth, his writing, and maturity. The phase of depth and maturity. How many of you have read Hamlet? Raise your hands, come on. 7, 8. Okay. Macbeth? 5, 6. King Lear? Othello? Okay, random है. Let's make it easy. How many of you have read all these? Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth. Again 3-4. इतनी बड़ी भीड़ में शेक्सपियर शो आपके टिप्स पे होना चाहिए. ठीक है, we are going to deal with Hamlet. We are going to deal with the tragedies now. But point to be noted, in William Shakespeare's tragedy, he has imitated Aristotle, but not a blind imitation. So first thing, if they ask you that all these Shakespearean tragedies, they are based on the model or the idea of Aristotle. Aristotle's idea of tragedy. Who is Aristotle? The first great Greek philosopher, the student of Plato, disciple of Plato. So because people will read simple tragedy, we have to understand the idea of tragedy. Shakespeare's idea of tragedy comes from Aristotle. And second important point that you have to remember, Shakespeare follows Aristotle but not perfectly. Because if they ask you that, can we say Shakespeare has violated Aristotelian rules? Yes, freely violated Aristotelian rules. शेक्सपियर ने एरिस्टोटल को फॉलो किया बट 100% फॉलो नहीं है. इट्स ओनली 60-70%. So you know, for this thing, in Essay on Dramatic Poesy, John Dryden, he will defend Shakespeare, that Shakespeare was genius. Following Aristotle is not necessary. Some people didn't like Shakespeare because Shakespeare is not following the Greek tragedy style. He followed 60-70% things, but then he did his own experiments. Now, what is the idea of tragedy by Aristotle? So first of all, when Aristotle talks about tragedy, it's a famous work, Poetics. In his famous work, Poetics, Aristotle, the great Greek philosopher, in Poetics talks about tragedy. And remember this thing, Aristotle believed tragedy is drama, drama is tragedy. ये भी याद रखना. For the great Greek writers, they believed in this thing, that there is just one kind of drama, that is tragedy. They never accepted comedy. इनके लिए comedy accepted नहीं था. Sometimes the students get confused that why Aristotle only talks about tragedy, why not the other forms? He talks about comedy also, but he denies, he says comedy should not be performed, comedy should not be prevalent, comedy should not be accepted in a society. Comedy honi hi nahi chahiye. So that's what he says. Because what is drama? What is drama? Tell me. What's your answer? Suppose you go to an interview. पहला question आता है drama क्या है? Drama क्या है आयुष? Which is to be performed. और perform तो dance भी होता है, फिर drama थोड़ी हो. जिसमें dialogues हो, फिर स्टोरी, एक कहानी जिसको एक्ट किया जाए, ठीक है, काइंड ऑफ, हाँ, और परफेक्ट एक स्क्रिप्ट हो, ड्रामा है, फिर तो नॉवल भी हो सकता है स्क्रिप्ट तो. व्हाट्स अ गुड नेम? नमिता, परफेक्ट आंसर है. रिमेंबर दिस थिंग. व्हाट इज ड्रामा? ड्रामा इज इमिटेशन ऑफ लाइफ ऑन स्टेज. सब आ जाता है इसमें, एक्टर, स्क्रिप्ट सब आ जाता है. ड्रामा इज imitation of life on stage. The great Greek philosophers say that what we do in drama is we show the life on stage. किसी की भी कहानी हो सकती है, Hamlet की, Macbeth की, but what we do is we bring it on stage. Shakespeare says that the world is itself is a stage. दुनिया खुद स्टेज है. राजेश खन्ना याद है, बाबू मोशा है, दुनिया एक रंगमंच है, इसमें कोई आता है, कोई जाता है. We have exits and entrances. दुनिया अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा स्टेज है ना. That's why Shakespeare comes with these lines, that we are merely the puppets in the hands of God, playing the roles, mine is the sad one. Second thing, so first, life performed on stage is drama. The imitation of life on the stage is drama. The best dramatist brings reality on stage. So drama should be close to life. Second important thing, the life itself is tragic. Find out one person जिसकी life हमेशा happy है. You're not talking about 1 month, 1 day, 1 year. Complete life. Bring me one complete life which is completely comic, happy ending. Do we have happy ending at the end? We are having miseries, loss, pain, suffering, and the death. So what is the ultimate reality of life? And जो सत्य है वो दुख है. खुशी सिर्फ आपको डिस्ट्रैक्ट करती. थॉमस हार्डी बोलता है ना, ह्यूमन लाइफ इज अ जनरल ड्रामा ऑफ पेन विद ओकेजनल एपिसोड्स ऑफ हैप्पीनेस. तो पूरी कहानी तो सैडनेस की है. So if we are talking about the life on stage and life is all about tragedy, then it means the drama is tragedy. So first thing, ये books पढ़ने के बाद समझ में आएगा. वैसे एक लाइन नहीं लिखते कॉमेडी हटा दो. जैसे comedy separates you, comedy makes you hate each other. I ask this question in all my classes. Tell me, give me one sample or one example of a comedy where nobody gets hurt. तीन तरीके से violence होता है. There are 3 types of violence. मनसा वाचा कर्मणा. मन से you hate someone inside, you have jealousy in your mind, in your heart. This is violence. This is from inside. Mansa, man se, from your mind, from your heart. Vacha, vachan, you bring bad words, cursing words, abuses, hate words. Vachan se, violence. And karmana, action. Fight, kill, beat. 3 types of violence. Bring me a comedy which doesn't have these type of violence. 2 example. बताओ. सोचो एक कॉमेडी का एग्जांपल दो जिसमें कोई हर्ट नहीं होता. Nobody gets hurt. Even in Tom and Jerry, one is being beaten up. Even in Tom and Jerry एक की पिटाई हो रही होती है बार बार. वो रोता नहीं है ना, लेकिन उसको चोट तो बहुत तेज लगती है. वो गिर जाता है, उसकी बॉडी डिसफिगर हो जाती है. जो बड़ी वाली बिल्ली है, पर वो पिट तो रही है ना. गिव मी वन कॉमेडी. एक कॉमेडी. मोस्ट ऑफ द कॉमेडीज आर मेकिंग फन ऑफ पीपल्स अपीयरेंस. कपिल शर्मा पे मल्टीपल केस हो रखे हैं. कभी प्रेग्नेंट वुमेन का मजाक उड़ा दिया, कभी किसी का कलर का मजाक उड़ा दिया, किसी की फिजिकल डिफॉर्मिटी का मजाक उड़ा दिया. दैट इज नॉट कॉमेडी. देन एनी अदर क्लीन स्वीट कॉमेडी without bringing abusive words, without having double meaning words. I watched the movie Paresh Rawal, Akshay Khanna, Chup Chup के no हलचल हंगामा. तो उसमें क्या होता है, जो हीरो है अक्षय खन्ना, वो कॉल करता है परेश रावल को गुस्से में, एंड परेश रावल थिंक्स दैट ही हैज अफेयर विद माय वाइफ. तो अक्षय खन्ना को बोलता है चुब्बे, और आगे बोलता है, नेक्स्ट वर्ड बोलता है चुब्बे साले ससुर. What is Paresh Rawal replies? He says, "Be clear, साला की ससुर." तो abusive words है ना कॉमेडी के लिए. हम हंस रहे हैं ठीक है, बट abusive words है. Mockery, jokes, parody, burlesque, satire. Bring me one clean comedy. नहीं, clean comedy कैसे है भाई? 2 lovers हैं बेचारे. There are 2 lovers. उनमें से किसी एक की आंख पे आपने कुछ लगा दिया है, उनकी लड़ाई करवा दी है. How is that clean comedy? तो सोचो ना, यू हैव ब्रेन, देयर आर सो मेनी इंटेलिजेंट ब्रेन फ्रॉम डिफरेंट स्टेट्स. बताओ. यस, देयर इज नो कॉमेडी पॉसिबल व्हिच डजंट मॉक एट एनीवन. कॉलेज ग्रुप्स में यू मस्ट हैव सीन दिस. देयर आर 3 or 4 फ्रेंड्स, दे टारगेट वन फ्रेंड. 4-5 का ग्रुप बन गया. एक को वी मेक फन ऑफ समवन. ही इज लेजी, शी इज ऑलवेज लेट, he doesn't remember things. Teacher इसको डांटते हैं. He is funny, she is funny. We target one person in a college group also. क्लास में भी किसी पे टारगेट करते हैं. Even in Bollywood movies, in a college show, they are showing you one fat guy, one another some sardar guy to have fun, jokes and all. Why? So in short, let's come to the conclusion. Otherwise, just take 10 more seconds. Give me one comedy which doesn't hurt anyone. कोई भी नहीं है ना ऐसी कॉमेडी. That's what he says. Now think philosophically, become philosopher. To have ultimate peace, happiness, love, emotion, affection, what do we need? What connects us more, the tragedy or the comedy? Tragedy. 2 best friend हैं. There are 2 best friends. एक टॉप कर गया, एक फेल हो गया. एक ने टॉप किया, एक फेल हो गया. दोस्ती कितनी रह जाएगी? फर्क पड़ जाएगा. और दोनों ने साथ में एग्जाम दिया, साथ में फेल हो गए. दोस्ती और अच्छी हो जाएगी. जो ठेके बैठ के गम बांट रहे हो तो ज्यादा अच्छे दोस्त बन जाते हैं. एक्चुअली इट्स ह्यूमन नेचर. द ट्रेजेडी कनेक्ट्स यू. The tragedy brings you close. But if you make fun of someone, somebody's physical deformity, color, appearance, this and that, it gradually separates you. किसी भी college group में, if we are laughing at someone, that person doesn't want to be laughed at. ज्यादा जानकारी के लिए एकता कपूर की एक मूवी है, वही देख लेना. 5-6 लोगों का कॉलेज ग्रुप होता है. There is a group of 5 to 6 people. A movie made by Ekta Kapoor, disastrous movie, obviously. One by one, these friends are getting killed mysteriously. They doubt their college professor that he looks psycho. So maybe our college professor is killing us one by one. At the end, they find it out that it is their best friend who have always been laughed at. कुछ ऐसी कहानी है. Who have always been mocked. वो कहता भी ये confession करता है, तुमने मेरा हमेशा मजाक उड़ाया, तुमने हमेशा मेरी insult की, मुझे बुरा लगता था, तो I started killing you one by one. So stop making fun of your friends, okay? हाँ, I don't want class में रोज एक कम हो रहा. So now you have understood this. The great Greek philosophers didn't support comedy. Now a question: if the great Greek philosophers didn't support comedy, why Aristophanes, Plautus have written comedies? So not supporting comedies or making a rule not to write comedies are two different things. Great Greek philosophers believed that comedy nahi honi chahiye, but there are people that wrote comedies. So we have comedians. Plautus is a great comedian, Pot of Gold. Aristophanes, Wasp, Clouds, we have comedies, but they were not loved and appreciated by these people. Euripides used to attack Aristophanes. दोनों की rivalry famous है. I'll teach you in Greek literature. यहाँ तक clear हो गया? So Aristotle defines only tragedy. Clear? Hope you will never have any doubt on this thing now. So whenever Aristotle talks, he talks about tragedy. Now he has some conditions. Write down those conditions. The condition of tragedies, according to Aristotle, in tragedy, it should be a one-man tragedy or one key figure. One-man tragedy or one key figure. So first of all, Aristotelian idea is that it should be a centralized tragedy. What is centralized tragedy? एक आदमी की कहानी, हीरो एक होगा. In Macbeth, Macbeth. In Hamlet, it's Hamlet. One-man tragedy, first of all. So it should not be that there are 5 heroes and 5 people are having tragedy. Centralized character, one-man hero. Then, second thing, that hero should have hamartia, because Shakespeare has used it. That hero should have hamartia. हीरो का हमर्शिया होना बहुत जरूरी है. मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट इन एरिस्टोटेलियन ट्रेजेडी, हमर्शिया. Hamartia means there are multiple definitions. I have told you in my previous class. Error of judgment. Some people call it error of judgment. Some call it tragic flaw. Some call it fatal flaw. Tragic flaw, fatal flaw, also called virtue in excess. Virtue in excess, a quality. Hamartia is a Greek word. When I will teach you literary criticism, I'll teach you peripecia, anagnorisis, all these references. Hubris वगैरह सब पढ़ेंगे उसमें हम. Hamartia is not a demerit. सबसे पहले हीरो में एक कमी होगी. हीरो will have one kind of flaw in his character, and that is called hamartia. But the strong point, because they'll give you assertion reason type question. In assertion reason, they'll say one of these can be hamartia. Option में आ जाएंगे 3-4 options. Hamartia. Lust, not hamartia. 7 deadly sins, jealousy, it's not hamartia. If it is in extremes. But what if it is just a human error? Basic thing, light level. You have to understand this. Hamartia is not a pure vice. It is human nature. Human nature. See, agar 7 deadly sins, there you have to choose a smart answer. If the 7 deadly sins are in extreme, then they are not hamartia. If they are introduced as vices, Ravan kidnapped Sita, it was a clear crime. So when Ravana dies, it is not his hamartia. Clear crime. Hamartia is not a vice. First of all, please remember this. Otherwise, Macbeth kills the king, Macbeth kills everyone. Why do we have sympathy for Macbeth? He's a murderer. So Shakespeare writes it in a way that he's just normal person like us. One small mistake. Who doesn't make small mistake? Tell me. हमें से कोई ऐसा जिसने कभी गलती नहीं करी हो? We make small mistakes. है ना? So small mistake makes us a victim of some tragedy, but it doesn't spoil our character. So first of all, hamartia is not a demerit, it is not a vice, it is just something, a human nature, maybe a virtue, a good quality, virtue in excess. Hamlet doesn't want to take revenge of his father. He's a scholar, he thinks a lot, he works and tries to understand the truth, which actually becomes his hamartia. या तो देखो क्या है, दो चीजें, या तो इट्स अ गुड वर्च्यू, इट्स अ क्वालिटी, बट इन एक्सेस, जरूरत से ज्यादा अच्छा होना. कोई ऐसा जिसको लगता है कि मैं जरूरत से ज्यादा अच्छा हूं इसलिए मैं विक्टिम होता रहता हूं? नहीं? अरे मैं ही पूरी क्लास में ऐसा. फिर मैंने तो आज तक अगर मैंने 10 बार हेल्प करी ना तो 9 बार मेरे हाथ जले. डर लगने लगा मुझे हेल्प करने से लोगों की. जरूर से ज्यादा अच्छा होना, और मुझे लगता है सामने वाले बेवकूफ समझते हैं. अच्छा, कोई और जिसको लग रहा है कि मैं जरूर से ज्यादा लोगों की हेल्प करने और फ्रेंडली नेचर के चक्कर में बेवकूफ बनता हूं? चलो एग्जांपल लेते हैं. आशिक नहीं आया? नासिर, वेरी इज आशिक? चलो, नासिर हैज अ बाइक. नासिर इज अ गुड पर्सन. नासिर का फ्रेंड आता है, नासिर भाई गिव मी बाइक, मुझे आज श्रीनगर जाना है 100 किलोमीटर. नासिर लाइक फाइन, ले जाओ. ओके. तो फ्रेंड इसका बाइक लेके घूम रहा है श्रीनगर में, घुमा रहा है किसी को, खाली टंकी खाली कर दी. comes and late, take your bike back, no petrol. Next day, good morning, can I borrow your bike again? He's like, fine, I'm a good man. 10th day, 1 month, रोज इसकी बाइक लेके बाहर घूम रहे हैं. एंड देन उसको नासिर को एक बिल आता है लास्ट में, ओवर स्पीडिंग के मल्टीपल चालान भी आ रखे हैं. तो अब बताओ नासिर के साथ ट्रेजेडी हो रही है कि नहीं हो रही है? नासिर क्या गलती है? व्हाट्स हिज मिस्टेक? क्योंकि जरूरत से ज्यादा ले जाओ भाई बाइक. So it's not his vice, it is virtue in excess. Or error of judgment. While making some decision, you made a mistake. King Lear wants to be flattered. 2 daughters flatter him, 1 doesn't flatter. He thinks that the girl who is very straightforward, she doesn't flatter me, so let's kick her out. One small error of judgment. So hamartia hona bahut zaruri hai. Why do we need hamartia? Because if hamartia is not there, we will not have sympathy for the hero. Why would the hero become a hero if he doesn't have any human nature thing? Macbeth, why he killed the king? He was a loyal man. But having ambition, and that ambition, the fire of that ambition, it was given air by his wife. उसकी wife उसको बार बार कह रही थी, चल क्या कर रहे? The luck will never favor you again, kill the king. उसकी क्या गलती है? आ गया बातों में वो. So that's why they are not villain, they are heroes. So important point, hamartia याद रहेगा. Next important point, the status. Shakespearean heroes are either kings, prince or commanders. Aristotelian style. According to Aristotle, the hero of the tragedy should be a person who can represent the masses, who can be taken as an ideal. So according to Aristotle, hero should be a king, prince, general, or someone like them. Somebody, a duke, maybe a baron, but not a common man. Aristotle did not use a common man. Some people say that Aristotle was not a great writer because the tragedy belongs to common man. But Aristotle's idea was different. अगर पब्लिक को मैसेज देना है तो हाउ डू यू गेट मैसेज? हम लोग नहीं बोलते कि जो कानून है वो सिर्फ गरीबों के लिए, अमीरों के लिए नहीं है. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है, बड़े बड़े अमीर जेल में हैं. जेट एयरवेज का मालिक जो एक समय 70,000 करोड़ का मालिक था, आज वो हाथ जोड़ के कह रहा है कि मुझे यहीं मर जाने दो. तो ऐसे एग्जांपल्स लोगों को आते हैं कि भाई 70,000 करोड़ का आदमी भी जेल में है, तो तुम कौन हो? You getting this point? Malya had to run. Why did he run? Because he knew that there is law, at least they will nab you. So these people also have the best lawyers. They tell मेरे London चले जाओ, आते आते 20 साल लग जाएगा. But why did he run? Because he knew the law will nab me. उसे पता था पकड़ लेंगे यहाँ. जैसे अभी हम बोलते हैं ना कि नहीं कोई पकड़ रहा है, कोई नहीं पकड़ रहा है, ऐसा नहीं है. ऐसा होता तो भागते नहीं यहाँ से वो. उसकी बहुत सारी प्रॉपर्टी जो है वो ऑक्शन में आ गई है. Point is, if the big man faces tragedy, it becomes a lesson for the commoners. So Shakespeare wants to take hero. Aristotle wanted to take heroes, because if the king can be cheated by his daughter, who are you? If Macbeth can be fooled by ambition, who are you? If Hamlet has domestic tragedy, family tragedy, who are you? So it means anything happening to this man, the king or the prince, it will be a message to all. And tragedy for the great Greek writer was a way to enlighten you. Tragedy वो entertainment के लिए नहीं करते थे. उनका एक ही टारगेट था. The only target of the tragedy was catharsis. For the great Greek writers, the aim of tragedy is catharsis. What is the aim? Catharsis. संजना, क्या होता है catharsis? Purgation. Purgation. तो हट जाओ. पानी की तरफ पढ़ो, पानी की तरफ. पानी वाला रास्ता बना देता है. You have the options. वो पूरी चेयर खाली पड़ी है. Purgation. What is purgation? When you are emotionally detached, devoid of those things, the great people, souls, saints, संत महात्मा, उन्हें बेड पे सोने को मिलेगा, they are fine. Next day जमीन पे सोना है, they are fine. One day they have good food, it's okay. One day they have no food, it's okay. Saints. In Sanskrit it is said, Udeti savita tamrah, tamrah evasti mepi cha, sampatta cha vipatta cha mehtam ek rooptam. The rising sun, Udeti savita, tamrah, tamrah evasti mepi cha. The rising sun, setting sun, both are red, just like great people. So when you have good days, they are normal. When they have bad days, they are normal. So that is purgation. Purgation, you are devoid of those emotions. That is the main target. If here, what makes you sad? Desires, expectations. But if you have purgated them, all of you are from different states. कोई राजस्थान से है, कोई पंजाब से है, कश्मीर से है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट से यहाँ पे हैं. Why did you all travel to come to this class? इतना दूर आए हो. Many of you are habitual of living in good, comfortable atmosphere, coming from big families. आपके घरों में बालकनियां होंगी, यहाँ छोटे छोटे हॉस्टल हैं. Some of you are not even comfortable with the food. Food quality is not that good, right? In hostels कहाँ अच्छा खाना मिलता है? Still you're struggling. Why? एक वेस्ट बंगाल का हमारा एक स्टूडेंट आया था, तो वो बहुत लग्जरी फैमिली से था. वो आया पूरा हॉस्टल वगैरह देख के, एंड देन ही सेड सर आई कांट जॉइन. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है बताइए क्या हुआ. ही सेड आई एम नॉट एबल टू फाइंड अ रूम विद अ प्रॉपर बालकनी, अटैच वॉशरूम एंड दिस एंड दैट. तो आई सेड यहाँ तो वो लड़के भी आते हैं जो किचन में रह जाते हैं, बेचारों को किचन रेंट पे मिल जाए वो भी चल जाए. नो नो सर. तो ठीक है ठीक, फाइन, गो look for luxury, go. But remember this thing, when you sit an exam, these guys will sit an exam with you. उसको पता नहीं क्या 2-4 दिन में वापस आ गया. Like नहीं सर पढ़ना है. Even if you come from rich family, you should struggle. Struggle makes you strong. So you're doing it. Why are you doing it? Why you are here? For net. नेट जेआरएफ के लिए, या चलो कोई कहेगा नॉलेज के लिए, बट सबको गवर्नमेंट जॉब चाहिए. अभी लास्ट बैच में जो उड़ीसा से लड़की है अद्वैता, उसके गवर्नमेंट जॉब में ज्वाइनिंग है कल परसों में. शिखा भी अभी आगे मिलके गई स्टूडेंट से लास्ट टाइम. दे हैव जॉइंड गवर्नमेंट जॉब. यू आल्सो वांट गवर्नमेंट जॉब, सरकारी नौकरी. व्हाई डू यू वांट सरकारी नौकरी? एक अच्छी सैलरी. व्हाई डू यू वांट अच्छी सैलरी? अच्छी सैलरी मतलब अच्छा लाइफ, गुड ड्रेस, गुड मोबाइल फोन, गुड होम, गुड कार. ये सारी एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं. आर यू हैप्पी और द मैन हु इज अ हिप्पी, maybe around Ganga in Haridwar, in Varanasi, or maybe at the beach Goa में, तो वो हिप्पी ज्यादा खुश है जिसे फर्क नहीं पड़ता सुबह क्या फूंका शाम को क्या फूंका, या आप ज्यादा खुश हो? Who is more happy? The people who don't care about things, they are happy or you are happy? They are happy. They don't care about things. Because even if you're a billionaire, you'll go to grave. और अगर आप जीरो है, कुछ नहीं कमाया, तो भी ग्रेव में जाना है. लाइफ स्पैन इज ऑलमोस्ट सेम, एवरेज सबका सेम ही है. So one kept on struggling, ये करो वो करो ये करो वो करो, just to reach. We are all running towards our grave. हम सब भाग रहे हैं ग्रेव की तरफ. कोई बीच में रुक रुक के एग्जाम की तैयारी करता हुआ जा रहा है, कोई सिर्फ सीधा भाग रहा है. Who is happy at the end? Vanitas vanitatum. Last line of Vanity Fair. Question आया है पेपर में. The last line of Vanity Fair. Vanitas vanitatum. Who is happy at the end? The last line of Vanity Fair, written by W.M. Thackeray. Vanitas vanitatum. Who is happy at the end? Where is happiness? When you will get government job, you will look for a good house. It's not easy to have a house without taking loan. तो लोन लोगे तो लोन भरो. तो happiness कहाँ है? When I teach you existentialism, beat generation, जब आपको जैक किरॉक पढ़ाऊंगा, ये वो राइटर्स थे सुबह शाम फूंकते रहते थे, कोई लेना देना नहीं था, घूमते रहते थे. बॉब मारले का गाना सुना है, गांजा गांजा, उनका एंथम है ये. The point is this: purgation. When you will study literature and you will also believe in this thing that yes, the ultimate aim is to have purgation, the people who follow existentialism, the people who follow absurdity, find their existence in absurdity. They are having this purgation thing. So the aim of tragedy is to have purgation. Clear? समझ में आ गया? और ये किसके लिए purgation? Who is purgation? Audience. Did you understand? Now let's go to Shakespearean tragedy. First one, Hamlet, phase 3. So Aristotelian reference I have given to you. Hamlet is a tragedy, one of the finest tragedy ever written. Direct connection with Thomas Kyd. It is believed Shakespeare's Hamlet, performed by 1602, taken from Thomas Kyd's famous work, Your Hamlet. This is the work written by Thomas Kyd. ये यूनिवर्सिटी विट का रेफरेंस याद रखना, ये हर किसी को नहीं आएगा बाहर. Thomas Kyd, Your Hamlet. You are, so we calling you are Hamlet. Now see, there are many similarities with the name, ghost or the death of the father. These are similarities there. When Hamlet starts, in the opening scene, there are some people, they are talking to each other. So now, let's go for the story, right? कुछ points note करने हैं आपको, because there are many questions from Hamlet. Story starts, and in the opening scenes, we have this man, Marcellus, a minor character, a small character, but 3 to 4 questions in exam from this character. Marcellus. Who is he? Just a guard, a normal character. Story starts, these guards are talking to each other, the things are going wrong, something is happening. Marcellus comes with a famous line that makes him important. He says, Nadeem, kya line hai? Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. एक क्वेश्चन तो यही एग्जाम में, fill in the blanks. Something is rotten in the state of. They'll give you Venice, they'll give you Rome. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. So that's the only important thing that you have to remember with the name of Marcellus. These guards are talking. So what are they talking about? वो कह रहे हैं कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Rotten is like सड़ जाना. कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Denmark में कुछ गड़बड़ है. Why? Because recently King Hamlet has been killed. King Hamlet has been killed. Nobody knows the secret behind his killing. He has been assassinated, but it is not sure who has done that. Who is King Hamlet? Father of Hamlet, Prince Hamlet. So ये भी याद है ना, Hamlet के father का नाम Hamlet है. King and Prince का difference. So how did King Hamlet die? Nobody knows. But as a king has been killed, and it's a mysterious killing. It's a kind of murder, and they are not able to nab or apprehend anyone. It's a state of confusion. There is a kind of situation, a kind of civil war situation. People don't know what's happening. So when Marcellus says that something is rotten in the state of Denmark, he's actually talking about the death of the king and the aftermath conditions after this. Now, after the death of King Hamlet, his son Hamlet, he has returned. He is a university scholar. Please remember this point. In all of these Shakespearean characters, Hamlet is a highly educated character. The most intellectual character, Hamlet. Because Hamlet is criticized. Critics criticize Hamlet for being a weak character, being a simple, normal character. But it is his defense. कौन सा आदमी जल्दी लड़ाई करनी शुरू करता है? हाथापाई जल्दी करनी शुरू करना कौन करता है? कौन सा ऐसा आदमी है जो बात बात पे लड़ता है, मार्केट में जाके लड़ना शुरू कर देता है, ट्रैफिक में लड़ना शुरू करता है? कौन? पढ़ा लिखा या कम पढ़ा लिखा? जो बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ा लिखा होगा, एक्चुअली एजुकेटेड इंटेलेक्चुअल होगा, उसे ना तो ताकत का कुछ होगा घमंड, ना पैसे का. If you are highly educated intellectual, you will always mind your words. You will learn to calm yourself. If somebody brings bad words and you get provoked, it means you are not in your own control. But the one who is highly educated, the one who is an intellectual, so Hamlet gets criticized that why he was so slow to take revenge. So people who adore Shakespeare, they say he was a scholar. A scholar behaves like a scholar. Hamlet comes to understand what's going on. Hamlet has a best friend, Horatio. ये नाम याद रखना, पेपर में आ चुका है, स्पेशली लास्ट लाइन के लिए आएगा. Hamlet has come back. He wants to know what's happening. Horatio is a best friend. Horatio informs Hamlet that I have seen guards, I have heard guards talking about a mysterious presence. Horatio बोलता है कि जो किले के guards हैं, they talk about some mysterious presence, a lookalike of king. He says, Hamlet, I have heard the guards are talking, the guards who are guarding the fort, जो हमारे किले की रक्षा कर रहे हैं, they are talking to each other. It is a kind of rumor. They are whispering to each other that we have seen a mysterious presence, and that mysterious figure soul looks like the late king. Hamlet says, okay, I'll find it out. I will check it on my own. मैं खुद check करके आऊंगा. Next night, Hamlet goes to the castle gate, finds a soul running. Hamlet goes after the soul and finds out the soul of his father. Castle gate, किले के दरवाजे जो परकोटे होते हैं. Guards कहते हैं हमने देखा है किसी को और वो हमें एक आत्मा जैसी लग रही है और किंग जैसी लग रही है. तो Hamlet कहता है मैं खुद देख के आऊंगा. तो जब Hamlet देखने जाते हैं तो सोल उसको देख के थोड़ा चलना शुरू कर देती है. Hamlet पीछे पीछे जाता है एंड देन जैसे दोनों अकेले होते हैं, Hamlet finds it out that it is actually the soul of my father. Soul, King Hamlet. First thing, supernatural element. The presence of soul means Elizabethan people, Elizabethan literature believes in the presence of soul. A point to be noted है. आत्मा का होना. Do you know Shakespeare is the first post-human? In latest cultural studies in post-humanism, Shakespeare is the first post-human. Because when the soul comes, what happens to soul after you're dead? What is the power of soul? In Gita, it is said that soul can never be killed. है ना? नैनम छिद्यन्ते शस्त्राणि नहीं दहका पावकम पावक something ना शस्त्र उसको मार सकता है ना आग जला सकती है. In Hinduism, it is said soul is the final thing and it can never be killed. What about soul in Islam? क्या कहते हैं बताओ? Soul के लिए after you're dead, Nazneen, soul goes to God. Simple. But what is the power of soul? Anything, something? Anybody? Christianity? Isabella? But what is the power of soul? Once you have left your body is the part of the mortal world. Once you have left your body, why are you having the pain, revenge, emotions? अगर शरीर मर गया, आत्मा आजाद हो गई, तो आत्मा को क्या जरूरत है? All kind of hate, all kind of love, all kind of lust, these are bodily things. Once you are dead, soul is freed. Why the soul has those emotions? कभी सोचा ऐसा? And if the soul has emotions, so it means there is a different world of souls, because there are thousands of souls, billions of souls. फिर तो सबके इमोशन होंगे, फिर तो souls का भी वॉर चल रहा होगा. खानदानी दुश्मनी, खानदानी दुश्मनी में कोई नहीं जानता गलती पहले किसकी थी, बस इतना पता था कि एक तुमने मारा, एक हम मारेंगे. तो फिर तो मरने के बाद souls भी लड़ती होंगी आसमान में. If the souls still carry those emotions, you're getting the point? The moment you involve the emotions of soul, it becomes post-human, beyond humanity. This soul wants to take revenge. The soul of Hamlet's father is not purgated after death. The soul wants to take revenge and talks to Hamlet and tells how he has been murdered. देखो क्या बोलते हो? He reveals how he has been killed. King Hamlet was sleeping in the garden. Uncle Claudius and his wife. Now he tells Hamlet that who has murdered me. The soul tells Hamlet that your uncle Claudius, King Hamlet's brother, the villain of the story, but a soft villain, not a kind of pure villain, Claudius, and Hamlet's mother, Gertrude, they are behind my killing, behind my murder. He says, when I was in my sleep in the garden, they came stealthily, poured some poison through my ear. मेरे कान के अंदर कुछ केमिकल डाल दिया, कोई पोशन डाल दिया, कोई लिक्विड डाल दिया. How bad? नींद में मर गया सारा. कह रहा मैं गार्डन में सो रहा था, तो my brother, younger one, my wife, they conspired, they brought some poison, some chemical, some potion, और वो मेरे कान में उन्होंने डाल दिया. हेसोबाइन बोलते हैं, हेसोबाइन करके केमिकल है, which is not important. तो and he is dead. Now they know the secret, because that poison killed him. There is no wound, there is no injury, there is no stabbing. But now Hamlet knows the truth. He tells Hamlet to take revenge. How many of you have seen Heather, one of the finest work by शाहिद कपूर? उसके शाहिद कपूर के फादर उसको क्या बोलते हैं? उसकी दोनों आंखों में गोली मारना. When you are a soul, चलो उसमें soul तो नहीं है, वो letter है उसमें, but when you are a soul, why are you having that revenge thing? एक disastrous movie आई थी बॉलीवुड में, जानी दुश्मन. देखी किसी ने? 15-20 एक्टर थे, कभी वो सांप बन जा रहे हैं, कभी मैट्रिक्स बन जा रहा है, कभी कुछ. इंडिया की फर्स्ट पोस्ट ह्यूमन मूवी है. फर्स्ट पोस्ट ह्यूमन मूवी. पोस्ट ह्यूमनिज्म इज द लेटेस्ट पार्ट ऑफ लिटरेचर. आपको कल्चर स्टडीज में पढ़ा दूंगा मैं, डोंट वरी. उसमें सांप भी है, आत्मा भी है, और पंगा इंसानों से है, और बदला इंसानों से है. 3 वर्ल्ड इन्वॉल्व हो रहे हैं, एनिमल वर्ल्ड, सोल वर्ल्ड एंड ह्यूमन वर्ल्ड. ऐसे ही वो आई थी मूवी काल, पोस्ट ह्यूमन मूवी. If you have seen Ajay Devgan's movie Kaal, wildlife, tiger, then soul of the hero, soul, wildlife together fighting against human. आत्मा टाइगर का इस्तेमाल करके इंसान को मार रही है. ये पोस्ट ह्यूमनिज्म है. Anything. Now the literature has changed the sides. This is human world, humanity, the earth, the world, human. Beyond this, post-human. So if you find aliens, that is again post-humanism. If you study alien life, post-humanism. Who is Sylvia? Written by Edward Albee. The man falls in love with a goat. Post-human है. Crab, the dog, human-dog relationship, post-human है. ठीक है? चलो. So now we got the story. Hamlet wants to understand what is the truth behind this. Hamlet doesn't trust his father. See, Hamlet is not an ordinary son. An ordinary son will get mad if the soul of father comes and tells this kind of thing. But Hamlet, he thinks, which is his hamartia. What is the main hamartia of Hamlet? Noble in actions, indecisiveness, confused रहता था. If they say what is the hamartia of Hamlet, noble inactions, कुछ करता ही नहीं था, सोचता रहता था, या indecisiveness, when you are not able to decide. What does Hamlet do? Hamlet pretends to be mad. Now Hamlet starts doubting everyone. So he doubts everyone and pretends that he has lost his mind. He becomes mad. Hamlet has a beloved. Now some other characters. Hamlet's beloved Ophelia. Hamlet's beloved Ophelia, when she finds that Hamlet has lost his mind, is not behaving normal, Hamlet pretends to be mad. Hamlet जो है पागल होने की एक्टिंग करता है. And why he's pretending to be mad? Because after the killing of the king, the prince is the next target. And Claudius doesn't know that Hamlet knows it. So Hamlet shows that I am already a mad person, so nobody will take care of me. And under the pretension of madness, I will get time to do my research. मुझे धीरे धीरे पता चलेगा कौन क्या है. He has a beloved Ophelia. Ophelia's father Polonius. Ophelia's father Polonius is a loyal person to the king. So Hamlet doesn't even tell his beloved that I'm normal. He doesn't even tell his beloved that I'm normal. वो wife को भी नहीं बोलता है beloved को. Why so? Why doesn't tell Ophelia that I'm normal? Don't say it because girls. ऐसा नहीं. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं, 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 नहीं. No. No, ये आंसर तो मत देना किसी इंटरव्यू में कभी भी. लड़की है ऐसा नहीं वाले, गर्ल्स नहीं है, ये मत बोलना. और कभी इंटरव्यू तो मत ही बोलना. Point is, because Ophelia, if she finds out Hamlet is normal, she'll be happy. She's the closest one. And if she's happy, she's normal. Polonius, who is a smart man, he'll understand. Because normally, if the lover has gone mad, what should be the condition of the woman? Beloved. She'll be in pain. जैसे शादी करनी वही पागल हो गए. तो वो उसको बताता ही नहीं है कि मैं नॉर्मल हूं. And in his madness, the philosophy that will come, soliloquy, to be or not to be. Hamlet is living a condition where he is not able to decide what's going on. Ophelia will commit suicide. When Ophelia will see that Hamlet has lost his mind, he'll go for a suicide. This suicide was converted into accidental drowning by Thomas Bowdler. Ophelia's suicide was converted into accidental drowning, that she drowned by an accident. It was converted by Thomas Bowdler in Family Shakespeare. They can ask you a question. Name the writer who changed Ophelia's suicide into accidental drowning. So Thomas Bowdler in Family Shakespeare. क्योंकि सुसाइड बच्चों के लिए पढ़ना अच्छी चीज नहीं है, तो उसको एक्सीडेंटल ड्राउनिंग में कन्वर्ट कर दिया. नाउ सेकंड थिंग, Ophelia has committed suicide. Hamlet is going through tough time. Hamlet is under the pretension, but Claudius is smart enough. Claudius बहुत smart है. The soliloquy, to be or not to be. Claudius is not careless. He knows Hamlet can pretend. Claudius is still very smart. Hamlet को लग रहा है कि मैं अंकल को बेवकूफ बना रहा हूं, but uncle is very smart. And Hamlet is already in an unstable mind. परेशान भी है. This soliloquy comes. To be or not to be. So those who don't know about this soliloquy, to be or not to be is a famous work, famous soliloquy where Shakespeare actually talks about a philosophy of life. We find the life tough. Especially to be or not to be should be taught in every school, every college. सब जगह proper पढ़ाना चाहिए, what I believe. And not only for the literature students, सबको पढ़ाना चाहिए. Because it's a philosophy of life and death. Hamlet is frustrated. Hamlet wants to commit suicide. Hamlet also wants to die. And Hamlet is talking to himself. To be, रहूं, or not to be. या ना रहूं. And then he comes with lines that this world is full of pain, miseries, I'm suffering. The only relaxation I will have is with my death. मैं खत्म, सब खत्म. But then he comes with another lines. But what about the world I will go after death? Who knows about that world? Where will we go? What if that world has more miseries, more pain, more sufferings? अगर दूसरी दुनिया में गया और दूसरी दुनिया में और ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम हुई तो सोचो, एक लाइफ से छुटकारा पाने के लिए फांसी पे लटको और नेक्स्ट डे जब आंख खुले तो पता लगा नरक में खुल गई, मोय मोय हो जाए नरक में. Because in all religions, suicide is a crime. If you commit suicide, you'll go to hell. Because the gift of life is given by God. You do not have any rights to end it by your choice. So if you commit suicide, and suicide brings a lot of insults also. एक प्रोफेसर थे वो मध्य प्रदेश में 70-80 साल की एज में थे, उन्होंने लेटर लिखा था गवर्नमेंट को. He wanted to have death permission. He wanted to die. Euthanasia. So the permission was denied by the government. वो प्रोफेसर ने लेटर में लिखा था that I have done my duties, my son is settled, my daughters are married, I've lost my wife, I'm bored of life, I don't want to live. My life has always been beautiful, peaceful. If I end my life without any other without any other reason, it will bring shame and insults to my kid. So I want to end it in a most authenticated way. मुझे परमिशन दी जाए, मैं बहुत जी चुका हूं, बहुत हो गया, अब नहीं जीना मुझे, अकेले बोर हो गया जिंदगी से. बट अगर मैं चुपचाप खत्म कर लूं, इफ आई किल माई सेल्फ, माई डॉटर विल बी क्वेश्चन, माई सन विल बी क्वेश्चन कि कैसे बच्चे हैं, बाप ने सुसाइड कर लिया. So he says that with all regards and all my gratitude, please allow me to commit it in a very authenticated way. That was denied. But soon ये accept हो जाएगा और होना चाहिए. I strongly believe in this thing. हाँ, it should not be that easy. ऐसा भी नहीं होना चाहिए कि आपने लेटर लिखा, कलेक्टर ने कहा हाँ ठीक है जाओ. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. You should go through some change. You should go through some counseling, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. ड्यूरेशन होना चाहिए 1 साल, 1.5 साल, 2 साल का. क्योंकि आज तो हाँ कर लो फिर शाम को मूड चेंज हो जाए. वो नहीं होना चाहिए. But somewhere when you reach to this thing, I think this is your life, individuality. You have all the rights to do that. But I do not promote any attempt like that. गवर्नमेंट की परमिशन ले लेना अगर करनी हो तो. ठीक है. Point is, in America there are many states where euthanasia is legal. We remember the Pinky Virani, writer Pinky Virani, her famous case study. That nurse, Aruna Shanbog, 42 years paralyzed. Her repeated petitions of euthanasia was rejected by the court. Supreme Court बार-बार reject कर देता था. But in that case, if you actually see, so sometimes it is kind of like let it go. बहुत सारे pet parents होते हैं. They find their pets in a worse situation, worse condition में, और वो नहीं जी पा रहा, सब कुछ खराब है. तो विद ब्रोकन हार्ट they say कि ठीक है, गिव एन इंजेक्शन एंड. तो एक लेवल पे होता है. अब यहाँ पे क्या सीन है? Hamlet is frustrated of life. Why? Father killed, and who killed? Mother. तो बेटे के मन पे क्या जाएगा? अब in between क्या होता है? But he ends with this life, ends the philosophy with this thing that we do not know about the next world, so let's fight. Suicide is not an option. फिर तो कोई ऑप्शन ही नहीं है उसके बाद. Now point, what is soliloquy? So those who do not know about this soliloquy, let's understand this, because soliloquy, dramatic monologue, and aside, these are 3 things which repeatedly appear in Shakespeare and others. We have to understand this. ये भी point समझना हमें. Soliloquy. First thing, soliloquy is when you are talking to yourself, but that is actually the thoughts. I'll give you the simple meaning to understand this. A character, he is having debate in his mind. He is confused. There is a discussion going on. But that discussion, that debate, it is in the body only, in the heart, in the mind. There are no words uttered. There is no sound. मन में चल रहा है. So your thought process, the conflict of thoughts, which is inside, which is within you, that is soliloquy. The words are not uttered. If they ask you to understand soliloquy, identify soliloquy, simply remember no word spoken. There is no communication, no word spoken, no sound. Whatever you are thinking right now, it's soliloquy. If you're talking to yourself, it's soliloquy. ठीक है? Here, the character talks to himself. अब अकेले बैठे हो, लाइफ के बारे में सोच रहे हो, you're talking to yourself, soliloquy. वो एक ही चीज, हाँ उस पे आ रहे हैं. First, did you understand this? What is the base crux idea of soliloquy? No utterance, no words. ये याद रखना. soliloquy में मुंह नहीं खुलेगा, मन में चलेगा. You want to eat two things, but you can afford one. So you're looking at the sweets, you're looking at the cake, and you're having a struggle in your brain. That is soliloquy, in your brain only. No communication. Even if it is a debate, it's in brain. No words, no utterance, no sound. Then comes dramatic monologue. Speaker talks to himself or he speaks something, but he speaks without getting interrupted. यहाँ पे speech है, यहाँ पे words हैं. He speaks in presence of others, but without interruption. So remember this thing, dramatic monologue. Monologue is single speaker. So one man who is speaking, dramatic because it has a plot or is the part of drama. Dramatic monologue properly, I will define it when I will teach you Robert Browning. I'll teach you with examples. Dramatic monologue, we have speech. One person speaking without any interference. नहीं, जरूर नहीं है. It is not necessary. See, in dramatic monologue, audience is always there. But if audience is there and the person just speaking, it is dramatic monologue. Sometimes they have one or two listeners on the stage. Just in My Last Duchess, Duke speaks, one messenger is listening. So in dramatic monologue, most important thing is that the speech is without any interruption, uninterrupted. ऐसा नहीं होगा बीच में कोई बोलेगा हाँ अच्छा फिर ये बताओ फिर वो बताओ. No. If I am speaking without any interruption in my class, it is monologue. Monologue is single voice, single speech. But my speech, if I'm teaching Hamlet and you find a plot and character in my story, it is dramatic monologue. If I am the character and my speech develops the drama, that is also dramatic monologue. तो अगर प्रधानमंत्री लाल किले से भाषण दे रहे हैं तो वो मोनोलॉग है. हाँ, किसी को उसमें लगता है ड्रामा कर रहे हैं, ये ड्रामा हो रहा है, तो वो ड्रामेटिक मोनोलॉग हो सकता है. लेकिन मोनोलॉग और ड्रामा में फर्क है. ठीक है? नाउ दिस वन, एनीबॉडी डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड? नो पॉलिटिकल कमेंट्स. एक टीचर ने बेचारे ने सही बात कर दी थी, इसको बाइकआउट कर दिया था उन्होंने. उसने इतना कहा था कि नेता पढ़े लिखे होने चाहिए, क्या गलत कहा था, लेकिन जहां काम करा था उसने निकाल दिया. मुझे यहां समझ कहां जाऊंगा. अब तो आदत भी नहीं है कॉलेज में पढ़ाने की. ओके, द थर्ड वन, डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड ड्रामेटिक मोनोलॉग? नाउ कम्स असाइड. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, थोड़ा कम यूज होता है ऑन स्टेज. असाइड, व्हाट इज असाइड? बहुत बढ़िया तान्या, वेरी गुड. Aside is when you speak on stage, but not to be heard by the characters, only to be heard by the audience. Simple सी चीज है, बहुत आसान है. Aside. Here it is not in mind, it is spoken. So aside में character speaks, बोलता है, but he speaks something in a low voice, so that the other characters on the stage will not hear it, but audience will hear it. अगर audience को भी ना सुने तो, अगर audience को भी नहीं सुने तो फिर aside का मतलब ही नहीं है ना, फिर audience play क्यों देखने आएगी? एंड अभी आपने आंसर किया कि ऑडियंस को ना सुने तो soliloquy. नहीं भाई, soliloquy ऑडियंस को सुनती है. ऑडियंस इज नॉट द पार्ट ऑफ स्टेज. वरना हैमलेट ऐसे मन में खड़ा रहेगा और ऑडियंस को भी नहीं सुन रहा है, तो ऑडियंस तो अपना गुटखा खाएगी ना बैठ के. ऑडियंस को सुनना जरूरी है. तो हैमलेट क्या करेगा? नॉर्मली दीज थिएटर आर्टिस्ट, मैंने एक दो सेशंस देखे एनएसडी वालों के, तो आई टेल यू दिस, दे विल हैव अ फ्लैश लाइट. कैरेक्टर पे फ्लैश लाइट डाल देंगे, चेयर रख देते हैं, या तो उस पर बैठा होगा या ऐसा होगा या फिर वो ऐसे से कर रहा होगा. So audience will understand his thinking, and whatever he is thinking, somebody else would be reading behind the curtains for the audience. रहूं कि ना रहूं. The audience has to know things. Audience को तो जानना ही है, because the story on stage is different. Stage people do not know audience. Hamlet के लिए कोई audience नहीं है. Hamlet is talking to his mother. Hamlet has his world. Hamlet की अपनी जिंदगी चल रही है. Aside, 4 people are there, and you are mumbling. That is aside. The greatest character, Othello. Iago in Othello, what does he do? He does a lot of asides. ऐसा भी होता है, you want to say something but you don't speak loudly, so you mumble and then say what? नहीं, कुछ नहीं. ऐसा होता है? नहीं, मेरी तो जिंदगी में असाइड बड़े शुरू हो गए शादी के बाद. मैं तो बोलता हूँ चाय बना लो. हाँ ठीक है, जाना. क्या कहा? नहीं कुछ नहीं, मैं जा रहा हूँ. Mumbling. You say something. Iago क्या करता है? On the stage. Yeah, everything is fine, good. फिर धीरे से बोलता है, I'll kill you, don't worry, I'll kill you. But that is for audience, not for them characters. That is aside. Famous use, Othello, Iago. अब याद आ गया? कोई जिसको नहीं समझ में आया? जब नेता वोट मांगने आता है तो वो बोलता है ना, अरे जैसे बोलते दिल बोलता है हाँ बस एक बार, फिर बाद में कौन आ रहा है, तुम्हारे पास कोई नहीं आएगा. वो असाइड हैं. ठीक है, आ रहा समझ में? Now get back to Hamlet again. As I told you, uncle was smart. Hamlet was showing that he is mad. Uncle Claudius was very smart. Uncle Claudius sends messengers, spies. Rosencrantz. And Guildenstern. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, these 2 friends of Hamlet, are roaming around Hamlet. Hamlet later finds it out that they are spies. So uncle was smart. Uncle didn't take him lightly. Uncle ने जासूस भेज दिए Hamlet के पास. Both of these names are very important. हाँ, names of spies, also the name of a postmodern work. These are 2 spies. Who are these people? Spy, jasoos. And if you just write like this, make inverted comma and write this, are dead. This becomes a postmodern work written by Tom Stoppard that I will teach you in postmodern literature. ये उसमें पढ़ाऊंगा आपको मैं. हाँ, dead. He is a spy. But modern writer ने किताब लिखी है, तो उसकी बुक का नाम है Rosencrantz, Guildenstern are dead. ये बुक का नाम भी है. दोनों कैरेक्टर्स है, लेकिन आपको जो title has been taken from Hamlet. Who are these Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? So the title character are the spies in Hamlet. Hamlet kills them. And by the time Hamlet has also realized that uncle knows about things, he has understood this. In between we will have a grave digger scene. एक famous scene है Hamlet का. The famous grave digger scene in Hamlet. Once we are done with Shakespeare, I'll make you write these quotations. इनके quotes लिखवाऊंगा, बहुत सारे quotes हैं Hamlet में. Grave digger scene. So there are people there digging the grave, singing a song, welcoming the new body, talking about the life. Hamlet also goes there. Hamlet finds out a grave which has been dug up, finds a skull. एक खोपड़ी मिलती है उसको Hamlet को. Hamlet picks it and speaks a line. Life is an infinite jest. Write it. In grave digger scene, the grave diggers are singing a song, welcoming a new body, celebrating that that new body has left the drama of the life. It's going away. Hamlet also comes there. Hamlet finds a skull of some dead person, takes the skull in his hand and comes with a line. Life is an infinite jest. Life is an infinite jest. जिंदगी एक बहुत लंबा मजाक है जो कभी खत्म नहीं होता. जिंदगी एक ऐसा जोक है जो भी खत्म नहीं होता. ये लाइन बहुत अच्छी है, याद रखना. ये फिलोसॉफिकल लाइन है. He picks the skull, तो इसे कि ये भी कभी इंसान रहा होगा, इसकी भी कभी लाइफ हुई होगी, कभी लव मैरिज हुई होगी, कभी अरेंज मैरिज, बहुत सारी चीजें, मतलब इसने भी ही हैज गॉन थ्रू, एंड गॉन थ्रू फॉर व्हाट, टू रीच हियर, यहां तक आने के लिए. So from birth to here, life is what? Just a jest, a joke, infinite jest. Now, remember this quotation, don't forget. And Infinite Jest is a title of a postmodern work written by David Foster Wallace. पेपर में आता रहता है. Name of postmodern work, Infinite Jest, written by David Foster Wallace, title taken from Hamlet. जेआरएफ करना है तो ये सारे रेफरेंसेस याद रखने हैं, ये सब पेपर में आ रखे हैं, एवरीथिंग हैज बीन आस्क्ड इन एग्जाम. डेविड फॉस्टर वॉलेस, लाइफ इज एन इनफाइनाइट जेस्ट. याद आएगा? क्लियर? नाउ Hamlet still has some doubt. He doesn't know if what is the motive of the murder, why mother has supported the murder. So he does a kind of trick. He says, I will perform a play in front of my uncle. He says, I'm going to perform a play, Murder of Gonzago. Hamlet कहता है that I'm going to perform a drama in front of my uncle. The title of the drama is Murder of Gonzago. Anybody who wants to call it Mousetrap? He says that I'm going to perform a drama in front of my uncle. Horatio says, what is that? Horatio बोलता है क्या है वो drama? What is that drama? Hamlet says Mousetrap. यहां पे स्टूडेंट्स गलती करते हैं. मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स थिंक द नेम ऑफ द ड्रामा इज माउसट्रैप. नो, माउसट्रैप इज द नेम ऑफ ड्रामा रिटन बाय अगाथा क्रिस्टी. व्हेन हैमलेट सेज इट इज माउसट्रैप, ही इज एक्चुअली टेलिंग द टारगेट ऑफ द ड्रामा टू ट्रैप द माउस, क्लॉडियस. बट द रियल नेम ऑफ द ड्रामा इज मर्डर ऑफ गॉन्जांगो. ये कहता है मैं अपने अंकल के आगे ड्रामा परफॉर्म करूंगा. और ये ड्रामा क्यों परफॉर्म करना चाहता है अंकल के आगे? Because in the drama, he will actually repeat how King Hamlet was killed. जैसे उसके फादर को मारा था कान में जहर डाल के, इसमें इसको मारेंगे. और हैमलेट क्या कर रहा है बैठ के? हैमलेट एक्सप्रेशन देख रहा है अंकल एंड आंटी, अंकल एंड मॉम. So he tells his friend, Mousetrap, with this drama, I will trap my uncle. I'll understand if he has done or not. It's stupid, है ना? Isn't it? अरे फादर की आत्मा आके बोल रही है, take my revenge. बट तुम्हें ड्रामा परफॉर्म करना है. What kind of son you are? मतलब फादर हैज नो वैल्यू. आत्मा आके कह रही है टेक माई रिवेंज, बट नहीं पापा मैं तो ड्रामा परफॉर्म करूंगा. इफ दे बिकम अनकंफर्टेबल देन ओनली आई फील दैट ओके ही हैज डन अ मर्डर. So he performs the drama, Murder of Gonzago, repeats the murder. Gonzago is sleeping in the garden. His wife, his brother come for the poison. Uncle and mother, they are perplexed. It is obvious with their face that they are uneasy. Mother leaves the drama. जो माँ है इसकी, Gertrude, she leaves the drama, goes away. Hamlet follows her. This is also one of the very important scene. Hamlet goes to confront his mother. अब mother को भी समझ में आ जाता है that beta knows everything. Uncle has also understood. Hamlet's mother leaves the drama, goes to her chamber. Hamlet follows her. And in the chamber, Hamlet confronts her, scolds his mother. There is a famous line. Frailty, thy name is woman. तुम्हारा नाम कमजोरी है, औरत तुम्हारा नाम कमजोरी है. Frailty, thy name is woman. So he is confronting his mother. वो कह रहा है तुम कैसी वाइफ हो, तुमने हस्बैंड के अगेंस्ट मर्डर कर दिया. और जाके बोलता है Frailty, thy name is woman. जो बाद में क्रिटिक्स बोलेंगे Frailty, it's you, Hamlet. Now, when the discussion is going on, when he's confronting his mother, there is somebody in the room. So when the discussion is going on, Hamlet feels somebody is in the room. There is some presence. Somebody is behind the curtain. So what does Hamlet do? Hamlet thinks it's Claudius. Hamlet thinks it's my uncle eavesdropping, trying to know what's going on. So while talking to his mother, confronting his mother, he takes the sword and बात करते करते, talking to his mother, goes close to the curtain and without actually seeing who is behind that, he stabs through the curtain. पर्दे के ऊपर से ही चाकू चला देता है. पीछे कौन था पर्दे के? पोलोनियस. पोलोनियस के साथ क्या हो जाता है? मोए मोए. देखा, इसलिए किसी की बात ही सुननी चाहिए चुप के. Who was behind the curtain? उनके ना होने वाले ससुर जी. Polonius, father of Ophelia. It is Polonius, the detective, the loyal of the throne. Polonius was eavesdropping. किसी को छुप के सुनना. Polonius was the mysterious person behind the curtains. Hamlet stabs through the curtain, unintentionally kills Polonius. Seeing this, he leaves the place, goes away. Claudius takes this opportunity. Claudius, a smart king, takes this opportunity and calls his son Laertes that your father has been killed by Hamlet. तुम्हारे पापा को Hamlet ने मार दिया. Who is Laertes? Brother-in-law, not would be. Would not be brother-in-law. Ophelia's brother. Brother gets mad in anger. You are behind my sister's suicide. You are behind my father's murder. I'll not spare you. Claudius is very smart. अब Hamlet ने गलती से उसको मारा Polonius, which is he is not a villain. He's a good man. He's a good father. It is said that most of the speeches given by Polonius are the direct speeches of Shakespeare. Brevity, the soul of wit, and all these things. Give thy ears to everyone, thy tongue to none. Never a borrower nor a lender be, for often it loses the money and the friend. बहुत सारे quotes हैं इसके. I'll make you write all those. Laertes comes and he challenges Hamlet to fight. अभी कहता बहुत हो गया. Let's have 1-to-1 fight. Claudius arranges the fight. समझ में आया? Hamlet मम्मी को डांट रहा था. पर्दे के पीछे कौन सुन रहा था? Polonius. इसने सोचा ये अंकल है. बिना सोचे चाकू मार दिया. अब एक नया पंगा स्टार्ट हो गया. अब Polonius का बेटा आ गया बदला लेने. अच्छा, इसकी डॉटर पहले मर चुकी है, तो ये इसको चैलेंज करता है. इट वाज अ सिस्टम टू चैलेंज, ओपन चैलेंज, ड्यूएल के लिए, फाइट के लिए. Hamlet accepts the fight. Claudius is smart. He doesn't want to kill Hamlet directly, so he says, "Fine, let Laertes and Hamlet fight. They have a proper tug of war issue hai." He announces the fight. Hamlet accepts it. Hamlet says, "Fine, I will come to see you. It will be a fight in front of everyone." Hamlet's friend Horatio tells Hamlet not to go. Horatio बोलता है मत जाओ, तुम्हें मार देंगे वो. Horatio tells Hamlet, "Please do not go. The fight has been arranged by your uncle. By any means, they will kill you. Either Laertes will kill you or the uncle will kill you. You're not going to return. Do not go. मत जाओ." But by this time, Hamlet is so much frustrated. He has seen so much. He has gone through so much that he says, "I will go. मैं जाऊंगा." And he comes with a great line. ये अभी recently किसी set exam में भी आई थी. Write down that line. It's a beautiful line. There is a special providence. Hamlet बोलता है, there is a special providence in a fall of a sparrow. There is a special providence in a fall of a sparrow. Providence system, rules. There is a special providence in a fall of a sparrow. चिड़िया. अगर एक चिड़िया भी आसमान से गिर जाए तो उसमें भी गॉड की विल है. It's written, it's pre-planned. So there is a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. Que sera sera. Whatever will be, will be. Que sera sera. Remember Madhuri Dixit? प्रभुदेवा माधुरी दीक्षित बचपन में गाना आता था, के सेरा सेरा जो भी हो सो हो. गाना कहां से उठाया उन्होंने? हैमलेट से. What is के सेरा सेरा? Whatever will, it will. Whatever is written, it will happen. जो होना है वो होगा. ठीक है? So that is the Latin phrase que sera sera. Whatever is written, it will happen. Hamlet says, if it is written that I will be killed, it will happen. तो क्या डरना है? होना हो तो होना ही है. Polonius को नहीं मारना चाहिए था तो भी मरा वो. Ophelia को नहीं मरना चाहिए था तो भी वो हुआ. तो if God has planned, वो होना ही होना है. अब क्या होता है? The fight has been arranged. The sword of Laertes that has been dipped in poison. तलवार जो लार्टस की, अब लड़ाई होने वाली ना, अंकल wants to be totally safe. अंकल को टोटल सेफ होना है. What if Hamlet kills Laertes? Public will come in support. So the sword of Laertes has been dipped in poison. It was also a kind of style. पहले वो poison लगा देते थे तलवार में कि कट भी लगेगा तो भी you will go. They fight. Laertes dies. Hamlet has a lot of cuts on his body, like poisonous thing. And when the fight was going on, there was drinks arranged that in case Hamlet wins, the poison drink will be given to him. In an unfortunate situation, Hamlet's mother mistakes that drink, drinks it, dies. Hamlet kills Laertes, reaches to Claudius, kills him. And Hamlet is also on his deathbed now. Hamlet is also going to die. तो वो मदर कैसे मरी? गलती से poisonous drink खुद पी लिया. The poisonous drink they prepared for Hamlet, she drinks it. गलती से, by chance, glasses इधर उधर हो जाते हैं. And Hamlet kills Claudius. Now Hamlet is almost on his deathbed. Horatio is near him, keeping his head high. Hamlet Horatio की गोद में है. Horatio को बोलता है, Horatio, I am dead. आपके एग्जाम का क्वेश्चन है, Horatio, I am dead. Which literary device has been employed here? Prolepsis. Horatio, I'm dead. Which literary device has been employed here? Prolepsis. I'll explain it. I'll tell you what is prolepsis. Prolepsis, when the nearest future is predicted and spoken as it has already happened. Prolepsis, when the nearest future is predicted and accepted as past. Nearest future predicted and accepted as past. जो होने वाला है, what is going to happen, उसे ऐसे मान लेना कि हो चुका है. That's a style, prolepsis. Nearest future accepted as past. Nearest future accepted as past. Don't worry, we will write examples, you'll understand. Easy, it's easy. What happens when you go to the classroom, it's your exam, you are 5 minutes late. Normally you tell your friends, today we are gone. So the tense, we are gone. It's past tense, but you're speaking in future. You want to go to the exam, you reach your center, then you realize that you have reached to a wrong center, there is no time. So what do you say? Screwed, गए. But कैसे गए? वो तो रिजल्ट आएगा तब गए ना. बट आपने प्रिडिक्ट कर लिया कि गए. आज तो मर गए, आज तो फंस गए. जब मैं प्रैक्टिकल दे रहा था ज्योग्राफी का, तो आई वॉज ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट. ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट बिकॉज कनेक्शंस थे. ज्योग्राफी प्रोफेसर मेरे पड़ोसी थे. द प्रोफेसर ऑफ ज्योग्राफी वाज माय नेबर, सो आई वाज वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट. So the person who came as invigilator from outside, the external, he asked me questions. I was preparing for army at that time, so we were taught that be always blunt, speak the truth. उसने बोला, how did you prepare this file? मैंने कहा सर किसी और की है. सिर्फ पहला पेज मेरा नाम का है. It's my first page. He said, अच्छा क्या क्या आता है इसमें से? What do you know? मैंने कहा कुछ भी नहीं आता. कितनी क्लासेस अटेंड किए? मैंने कहा सर 2-4 क्लास अटेंड किए. मैं तो एनसीसी में हूँ, कैंप वगैरह करता हूँ, आर्मी में जाना है. कुछ भी आता है ज्योग्राफी में? मैंने कहा नहीं सर कुछ भी नहीं आता है. एंड वी वर 5 people in the group. So he asked me, okay thank you, go. I was like fine. तो मैं चला गया. अब 1 by 1 वो लड़के आ रहे हैं. और वो पता क्या बोल रहे मुझे? तू तो गया, you are gone. I got worried. Why? The another one said, the answers, your blunt answers, it has provoked him. He says, ये बंदा फेल करूंगा मैं, इस लड़के को पक्का फेल करूंगा मैं. तो सब आ रहे क्या बोल रहे हैं? you're gone, you are gone, you are gone. But how? Result तो 3 महीने बाद आएगा. Predicting that future as past. Got it? और मैं अपने प्रोफेसर के पास चला गया था. मैंने जाते ही हाथ जोड़े, मैं सर में तो पंगे लेके आ गया हूँ, बचाओ. तो टीचर्स होते, बचा लिया उन्होंने मुझे somehow, हाथ में जोड़े उन्होंने आगे मेरे लिए. But nearest future like this, that I'm gone. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया प्रोलेप्सिस? कोई ऐसा जो नहीं समझ में आया अभी भी? मेरे एक फेलो प्रोफेसर है, वो दोस्त है बेचारा, तो वो बहुत टफ टाइम से जा रहा था, कुछ रिलेशनशिप इश्यूज, तो टफ टाइम से जा रहा था, तो अकेले रूम लेके हॉस्टल पढ़ता था, तो दिन भर क्लास, दिन भर. अब वन डे he didn't pick his father's call. His father called me also, कह रहे तुमने फोन. मैंने कहा सर मैं तो क्लास में हूँ, मैं तो जानता ही 2-3 महीने से कहाँ है वो. Then his father called some other people. One of them gave his location. ये room. Father reached next day, 8 o'clock early morning maybe, and he knocked. This boy didn't expect his father. He opened the gate with a cigarette in his hand. उसने स्टेटस लगा रखा था, आई एम गॉन. तो हमें लगा सुसाइड कर लिया. तो कैसे निकाल, 4-5 दिन के लिए कैसे निकाल लिया? Predicting nearest future. Anybody who still has any questions related to this? No? Now we have to write a very important point. T.S. Eliot called Hamlet artistic failure. लिखो. T.S. Eliot called artistic failure. Hamlet is an artistic failure. A question in exam and we'll understand it. Called Hamlet an artistic failure. So the question that has been asked, who said T.S. Eliot, which book, Hamlet, but now I'll give you the details. Hamlet has been called artistic failure by T.S. Eliot in his famous essay Hamlet and His Problems. T.S. Eliot का एक essay है Hamlet and His Problems. Hamlet and His Problems. In Hamlet and His Problems, T.S. Eliot calls Hamlet an artistic failure. So Hamlet is the greatest work, but Hamlet as a character, most of the critics call him, he is the failed character. They say, frailty, thy name is Hamlet. You are slow, you are weak, you do not take action. But when T.S. Eliot studies Hamlet and His Problems, he actually talks about objective correlative. T.S. Eliot ने Hamlet and His Problems में को क्या पढ़ा है? Objective correlative. Objective correlative. The question that was asked in Uttarakhand set exam, who has coined the term objective correlative? Washington Elston. 99% students read T.S. Eliot and answer T.S. Eliot. Paper में question आया objective correlative. Who has coined it? Now people go with T.S. Eliot because whenever you will read objective correlative, it is always T.S. Eliot around. But no, the term has been coined by Washington Elston. याद कर लेना, next time उसमें पूछूंगा मैं आपसे रैपिड फायर में. नहीं 1848 के आसपास है. 1918 Hamlet and His Problems. 1918 Hamlet and His Problems. Washington Elston coined it by 1848, which is not important. उसने पेंटिंग के लिए coin किया था. Objective correlative. Washington Elston. That is more important. 99% students will go for T.S. Eliot. They will make a mistake. आपको ये आंसर करना है. Who has coined the term? Coinage and the propounding of the theory are sometimes different. Coin कोई और करता है, use कोई और करता है. Now see this thing, what is objective correlative? First of all, objective correlative is a device, a style, where the hero or the protagonist, his mood, emotions are connected to nature or outer reference. nature or outer references? Hero's mood, hero's emotions are connected to nature or the outer references. Outer existence means anything else, but not he himself. It is used to increase or decrease the emotions for audience. Objective correlative is used to increase or decrease the emotions for the audience. How to make audience emotional? Imagine, suppose you are the film director and you are showing me a hero working hard. How will you show your heroes working very hard? In an air-conditioned chamber with all the luxury? फिर कैसे दिखेगा हीरो? हाँ, one of you said धूप होनी चाहिए, धूप, sunlight. तो हमारा हीरो क्या करेगा? लकड़ी काट रहा है, फिर बार बार ऐसे करेगा, फिर बार बार सुर्ख देखेगा, आज बहुत गर्मी है. To make the audience understand that he is working hard. So to make the audience understand hero is working hard, they took the reference of the nature, hot, sun, it's above his head. और हीरो बेचारा बहुत परेशान है, जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गई. Take the reference of nature. Hero is sad. Hero is really sad, broken. उसका बेचारा बचपन का प्यार चला गया है. How will you show? कैसे दिखाओगे? कोस्टा कॉफी में बैठे हो चुपचाप, या ढलता हुआ सूरज और बीच पे अकेला बैठा हुआ ऐसे, आज पुरानी राहों से कोई मुझे आवाज न दे. Nature is used to have that emotion, so the protagonist's emotions connected with nature gets intense for audience. बहुत आसान है, ऑब्जेक्टिव कोरिलेटिव बड़ा आसान है. Remember the 90s movie, Amitabh Bachchan kind of movies? Opening scene, mother is in deathbed, माँ खांस रही, छोटा बच्चा, माँ तो रुक, मैं अभी दवाई लेके आता हूं. और जब वो छोटा बच्चा दवाई लेने जाता है तो कहां जाता है वो? फिर बारिश होगी, तूफान आएगा, बिजली कड़केगी, उसी दिन दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा अंधेरा होगा. So that you feel pain that this kid is going through a lot. His mother is in pain, he has to find a medicine. और अभी वो मदर खा कर रही हो, कह रहा माँ तो रुक, अभी ऑनलाइन मंगाता हूं, और 2 मिनट में दवाई आ गई. You won't have that pain. So how to make hero look tragic? If you are having pain, surrounding is painful. If you are happy, it is also connected with happiness. If you are happy, surroundings are. All good romantic songs, hero and heroine meet first time. क्या चलता बैकग्राउंड में? कौन सा? कश्मीर दिखाता है ना, स्विट्जरलैंड. ऐसा तो नहीं दिखाता ना हीरो हीरोइन लुकिंग एट फर्स्ट टाइम और बैकग्राउंड में दिल्ली का ट्रैफिक आ रहा है, 2 कार वाले आपस में लड़ रहे हैं. Because sometimes the director or the theater artist, they do not have that much perfection to portray the emotion through the characters. So they take the other existence. हीरो खुश है तो बाहर आ रही है, मौसम अच्छा है, खुश है जमाना आज पहली तारीख है. Remember the ad? Cadbury ad? खुश है जमाना आज पहली तारीख है, because you got salary, so everything looks good. ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट करते थे. सपोज दे वांट टू शो यू अ सैड सीन, 3 इडियट में राजू का जब घर दिखाते हैं, दैट्स अ ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट सीन, सो दैट यू फील ट्रेजिक. दैट इज ऑब्जेक्टिव कोरिलेटिव. एनीबॉडी डिडंट अंडरस्टैंड? Literary reference, King Lear. King Lear becomes mad, he runs out of his palace, there is a storm scene. Macbeth, he is frustrated, confused, doesn't know what to do, there is a dagger scene. In Hamlet, Hamlet's confusion, Hamlet's madness, it has not been connected to any scene. Even the artificial objective correlative, वो भी नहीं है. That's why T.S. Eliot says that for the audience to understand Hamlet is not easy. Shakespeare could not make his audience understand Hamlet. All the boys, tell me, जितने boys हैं बैठे, कौन सा बेटा पापा की 100 लाके कह रही कि जा यार मेरा रिवेंज ले ले, वो टाइम पास कर रहा है? कौन सा बेटा से करेगा? नहीं, गिव मी, कम विद योर इमोशंस, टेल मी, कौन सा बेटा? और वो भी आज यूं नहीं ना कि पापा लॉयर ढूंढता हूं, अच्छा केस करना है. इट्स एलिजाबेथन टाइम्स, यू हैव अ सोर्ड, डू द जस्टिस, उड़ा दो गर्दन, प्रिंस हो. कोई क्या ही कर लेगा, क्लॉडियस को मारते प्रिंस हो, राजा बन जाएगा. व्हाई अ सन वुड वेस्ट टाइम when the direct murdered victimized person comes says take my revenge. मुझे लगता है मैं उसके पापा की सोल होता ना तो मैं हैमलेट 2 थप्पड़ और मारता, इतना टाइम लगा दिया. सोचो क्यों एक बेटा क्या करेगा, एक बेटा क्या करेगा. इमेजिन अ सन, soul of his father has come by I have been killed. नहीं पापा, first I will become mad, then my girlfriend would die, then I'll prepare another drama and I'll make sure the drama performance goes really good, then I'll look at the Claudius and I'll note down their expression, then I'll go to talk to my mother. Why this? Imagine Othello. एक मिनट रुमाल दिखा नहीं कि जाके वाइफ को गला दबा दिया. सोचो, had it been Othello, replace Hamlet with Othello. It is Othello, soul of father. Othello, take my revenge. Okay, papa. Animal. Okay, papa. तलवार गया, क्लॉडियस भी गया, मदर भी गई, 10-12 फ्री में गए. Act 1 Scene 3 हैमलेट खत्म, क्योंकि Othello वहां पे कोई बचा ही नहीं. And replace Hamlet with Othello. Hanky, what's brand? Fabric कौन सा है? Fingerprint किसके हैं? So people criticize Hamlet for this thing, that you do not attach, you do not have that empathy. No boy will have a connection with Hamlet. कोई भी, क्योंकि इमोशंस में कोई बेटा इतना टाइम नहीं लेगा कि मैं तो ड्रामा परफॉर्म करूं. So Eliot says that Hamlet's emotions, Hamlet's confusion, Hamlet's indecisiveness, it could not get properly conveyed, and Shakespeare lacked objective correlatives. Othello we understand, we have that emotion that okay, you are getting deceived in love, you may have anger. King Lear we understand, but Hamlet's mind, it's not being understood. कोई आके एक बिट अब रैंडम सर्वे कर लो, जाके 100 लड़कों को पूछो कि ऐसा होता और तुमसे बोला जाता है तुम क्या करोगे, कितने लोग आप ऐसे ड्रामा परफॉर्म करेंगे, टाइम पास करेंगे, खुद ही सुसाइड करने का सोचेंगे. So Hamlet becomes an artistic failure because the audience do not catch the exact character of Hamlet. Got it? Now the second important point, Gertrude, Hamlet's mother. Who is the villain here? Claudius. Who is the another villain? देखो नेट के अकॉर्डिंग पढ़ना है हमें, नेट के हिसाब से, तो हमें इसमें स्टैंडर्ड्स है ना, ये सारे पढ़ने पड़ेंगे. Margaret Atwood wrote Gertrude Talks Back, a famous work written by Margaret Atwood, Canadian writer. I've told you she's also called mother of Canadian writings. Double Booker Award writer, Margaret Atwood. Margaret Atwood is also called mother of Canadian literature. Double Booker Awards. One of the most important writer for your exam now. इनको अलग से भी पढ़ लेना, blind assessing वगैरह. Who is the villain? Claudius. Who is the villain? Gertrude. But पूरी story में we do not find a reason to kill King Hamlet. There is no reason. There is no proper strong reason why King Hamlet was killed. Now the point is that when you read Hamlet, Gertrude has been called a villain. Margaret Atwood takes the feminist study of Hamlet. ये क्या है? Feminist study of Hamlet है. Gertrude कैसे villain है? बताओ कैसे villain है? अनामिका, Gertrude कैसे villain है? क्योंकि उसने अपने हस्बैंड को मारने में हेल्प करी. और कोई काम इसने ऐसा किया जो? डू यू हैव एनी रीजन बिहाइंड दिस? व्हाई शी किल्ड हर हस्बैंड? ये कहां लिखा है? पढ़ा तो नहीं है आपने? वेयर इज इट रिटन? उनका हस्बैंड अच्छा किंग नहीं था. हु इज द राइटर? मेल और फीमेल? मेल राइटर. हु इज द हीरो? मेल. And who's the villain? Female. But do we have enough reasons to call Gertrude? Because using Gertrude, Hamlet attacks all the women. Using Gertrude, taking Gertrude as a reference, he attacks all the women. Frailty, thy name is woman. The people who are fan of Shakespeare and they want to curse women, they would bring this line. वो अपने घर में भी बोलते होंगे बीवी को, किसी को, Frailty, thy name is woman. अरे शेक्सपियर ने कहा है तो महान बात है. कैसे महान बात है? We do not have reasons. Gertrude doesn't get chance to speak for herself. That's the reason Margaret Atwood has written, Gertrude talks back. Gertrude को मौका ही नहीं मिलता बोलने का. When she doesn't get chance to tell why she killed her husband. So she had just been introduced as the villain, but there is no guarantee of her villainy. What if Gertrude gets a chance to speak? Did Shakespeare do justice with Gertrude? आपने किसी को बोला villain, पर उसको बोलने तो दो. Protagonist तो नहीं है इसमें Gertrude, villain इसमें, but villain कैसे दिखाया है? The point is that you're a male writer, you picked a woman, portrayed her under the bad light, but why do we have to believe that Gertrude was a bad woman? What if Gertrude gets an honest chance to speak about herself? What if Gertrude comes and says that your husband, he was an animal, he would beat me, he was not a good king, a drunkard, he was deceiving me, deceiving the people. As a queen, it is my responsibility to take care of my people, my kingdom. So I took the help of younger brother to kill that king so that I can do it for my nation. Now, Gertrude villain है या heroine है? Critics लिए इसीलिए study होता है. Critics बोलते हैं why Hamlet was taking a lot of time to kill take revenge. What if Hamlet himself was not happy with his father? I just asked you, that normally a boy will not waste time. But what if the boy also know my father was like this only? Then, so they say, in this research, they say that Gertrude, she is taken as an idle woman for women, idle for all the women to curse. It is wrong. It's a feminist study. Now the third study, अब तीसरा study है. ये समझ गए? Feminist perspective. Third study, Oedipus complex. We are not studying Hamlet in a normal way. I told you ना, शेक्सपियर को बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ेंगे ट्रेजेडीज को. पेपर में टफ क्वेश्चंस आएंगे, वो इजी क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछते. Oedipus complex. Oedipus complex has been applied in Hamlet. Hamlet doesn't confront Claudius. He confronts his mother. Claudius तो अंकल था. चाचा को तो बोली सकता था कुछ ना कुछ. So Oedipus complex, the idea by Freud, it says that there is a natural attraction between two sexes. Those who do not know it, it's a concept by Sigmund Freud. Oedipus complex. As there is a natural attraction in male and female, male can be a son, these are social relations, and female a mother. They are naturally close to each other. For girls, it is called Electra complex, father-daughter. Electra complex. Daughter and father. Natural sex, different sex, natural attraction. Different sex, natural attraction. Now, Hamlet was inclined towards his mother, and Freud says that son takes his father as a rival. Freud says son takes another male as a rival for that female. ये natural है. So here Hamlet has a natural rivalry with his father, King Hamlet. ये हम इंडियन सिनेरियो में नहीं मानते ना, क्योंकि हमारे जो इमोशंस है और कल्चरल रूट है वो स्ट्रांग है. बट दे हैव स्टडीड, दे हैव डन दिस थिंग बिकॉज वी आर हैविंग द फर्स्ट आइडेंटिटी द मेल एंड फीमेल. दो थर्ड वेव फेमिनिज्म क्वेश्चंस द आइडेंटिटी ऑफ फीमेल आल्सो, वो अलग चीज है. देन कम्स द रोल फादर, डॉटर, ब्रदर, सिस्टर, मदर. So the natural attraction is common, it's obvious. So natural attraction is not always the physical intimacy or the lust, no. It is like being extra love, extra affection, taking care of. Extra affection. It's not taking, we don't have to take it in a negative way. It is the extra care, extra emotion, extra involvement. So Hamlet had his inclination towards his mother and natural rivalry with his father Hamlet. When King Hamlet gets killed, his natural desire to replace his father gets fulfilled. And that's why Hamlet was not willing to take his revenge. ये एडिपस कॉम्प्लेक्स की स्टडी है। हैमलेट इसलिए नहीं बदला लेना चाहता था क्योंकि उसका फादर उसका कंपटीशन था, और जब उसका कंपटीशन साइड से हट जाता है तो somehow in subconscious or unconscious mind Hamlet is relaxed. ये स्टडीज बोल रही हैं, मैं नहीं बोल रहा। I've done the Oedipus complex study on this thing, so they say that why Hamlet was delaying. So one critic came with this idea, and Freud has proved it. Freud has proved it, right? Clear hai? Any questions related to that? We are done with Hamlet. What's the time now? अंकिता मैम एब्सेंट है तो हम कंटिन्यू कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? कंटिन्यू करना, गैप चाहिए? कब से स्टार्ट है? 9:30 से स्टार्ट हो गया ना? चलो 10 मिनट्स गैप। हाँ, विल गो फॉर ओथेलो, किंग लियर, मैकबेथ। ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट वर्क्स हैं, इनके सबके एक्स्ट्रा रेफरेंसेस देखने हमें, एटलीस्ट 2-3 हो जाए आज। यू हैड अ क्वेश्चन? हाँ, ऑब्जेक्टिव कोरिलेटिव सेम एज, hold on. Pathetic fallacy is coined by John Ruskin. Pathetic fallacy deals with only tragedy. Objective correlative is bigger, broader. They are same, pattern is same, but pathetic fallacy is dealing with tragedy only. और objective correlative कुछ भी हो सकता है। देखो, objective correlative में when the stage setting is done, so there are people, they arrange the stage. If you are in sad mood, your room, your surrounding will look sad. Colors gray हो जाएंगे. You are in happy mood, the colors will be brightened. So objective correlative में all the surroundings that help the audience to understand, and it is not only to understand the happiness are the things. Horror stories बहुत अच्छा example है। जो horror movies आती हैं, Sai has given the example. Objective correlative में how do you understand the ghost is coming? Is it early morning breakfast time or the midnight? Midnight, then blue light, then some window scene, then close and some earring sound. ऐसा भी होता है, सुबह सुबह नहा के आ रहे हैं नाश्ते करने के लिए, हाँ हाँ पोहे खाने, तब तक ब्रेड पकौड़ा खाने, तब तक अरे आत्मा होगी, तो अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है। सराउंडिंग्स, बॉलीवुड मूवी ले लो, राम से ब्रदर्स, कभी फ्लैट्स में भूत आते देखे राम से ब्रदर्स? नहीं, हवेली होगी, जंगल होगा, एक गेट होगा जिसमें प्रॉपर वो ऑयलिंग नहीं करेंगे, फिर एक बाबा होगा कंबल ओढ़ के लालटेन लेके। चलो, सी यू आफ्टर 10-15 मिनट्स। simply say a pillar of racial studies. Was Shakespeare racist? He had opinion regarding religions. We have seen this, making fun of a Jew, making fun of a Puritan. Who is the Jewish character in Shakespeare? Shylock. So we have seen Shylock as a Jew portrayed under bad light. So Shakespeare ने religious reference तो डाला है. And who is the Puritan? Puritan is Malvolio. So we have seen this also, that religion, inter-religion, he had some opinions. Now comes Othello. Get back. Was he actually racist? The idea of whiteness, how it all comes. In which book we have a reference of good, fair, white? Book of the Duchess. White color, whiteness, white supremacy. White man's burden. Who has written that? Rudyard Kipling. White man's burden. So when Shakespeare wrote Othello, we're not sure whether he was racist or not, or maybe he's just a writer portraying the reality of that life. But yes, it is said that it is a racist play. In fact, one of the greatest African writer, Ben Okri. Last time आपके नेट एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन है from this writer, The Famous Road. I will teach you that thing in African literature. I will teach you this man in African literature. Ben Okri, one of the greatest writer from African literature, calls Othello a racist play. कहता है racist है. So when you fight or when you have issues of racism, anybody who didn't understand what is racism? सबको पता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया से इंडियंस को भगा रहे थे कुछ साल पहले. रीजन लोग कहते हैं हरभजन और एंड्रयू साइमंड्स क्रिकेट खेलते हुए आपस में लड़ गए. तो एंड्रयू साइमंड्स एंड हरभजन बोथ वर क्रिकेटर्स प्लेइंग टुगेदर. Simon said, Harbhajan called me monkey for my native aboriginal Australian look, which resulted in a racial conflict. So Indians Australians को पीट रहे हैं, Australians Indians को पीट रहे हैं. Then Indian boys who were working there, girls who were working there, they started leaving Australia and they returned. उसके बाद भी अगर कोई killings वगैरह होती हैं, अभी recently एक वीडियो वायरल हुआ था, one American woman was cursing some Indian, asking them to leave. Then that we have seen in India also. Racial inequality, racial issues we have seen in India. It's not a new thing for us. In this story we have a general, a warrior, Othello. Othello is the hero of the story, general, but he's an outsider. He is repeatedly called black and Moor. So let's go for the story. Othello को बार बार black बोला जाता है और Moor बोला जाता है. See, black were for his skin. Now normally if the Europeans are having white color, the black color signifies that this man was an outsider. African, a nigger. So Othello has been called an African, a nigger. At that time the word Moor was used for the warriors from Turkish warrior. So some people say that he was maybe an African or a black guy, but he was a Turk. The warriors from Middle East. But in both cases, even there is a famous portrait where he looks like a black African, but his dress up is like people coming from Middle East. African or Turk, whatever he is, but he's an outsider and his skin color is black. He is repeatedly called the Moor, the Moorish man, the uncivilized. The word Moor stands for the people who fight, who are skilled in art of witchcraft and are not civilized. Now what happens? This man is a warrior and has achieved name and fame. Having name and fame and great stories of war, great stories of doing the impossible task, he becomes love interest of the beautiful heroine Desdemona. अब देखो यहाँ पे क्या क्या होने वाला है. Did you understand the points? While other people are going to study Othello in a normal story, normal way, we are going to study taking reference of racism. Even Coleridge talks about racism. Coleridge has called Othello a Negro. S.T. Coleridge. Okay, that's the story of a Negro. Othello, a warrior, outsider, comes with his black identity, but becomes love interest of Desdemona, the beautiful princess, heroine, Desdemona. Desdemona falls in love with him because whenever Othello would visit her house, he would talk to her father, Brabantio. Who is Brabantio? Father of Desdemona. About his impossible deeds, war, bravery. So he would come and tell heroic stories about his wars. कि फिर ऐसे लड़ाई हुई, फिर वैसे हुआ, फिर I did this, I did that. So he is habitual of talking about his all those things. When he's talking to the father, Desdemona is eavesdropping. He has sympathy for this man being an outsider. ये भी research का part है. That maybe her sympathy towards him is not love, it's just sympathy. But somehow, like she feels his pain, she feels his struggles. Soon she falls in love with him, gives him her consent, they get married. अब इनकी शादी हो जाती है. There is one more small character, minor character. Fine, यहाँ तक clear है? Othello, Desdemona got married. What was the reason behind the marriage? Desdemona fell in love with his great hard work and deeds, right? There is one man who wants to get married to Desdemona, Roderigo. Roderigo wants to get married to Desdemona. Roderigo. This can be a question. That who was the suitor to Desdemona? कौन उसे शादी करना चाहता था? Roderigo. When Roderigo finds Desdemona has been married to Othello, he goes to Brabantio and curses him. वो कह रहा है तुम्हारी जो white daughter है, there is a line, जो तुम्हारी white daughter है उसको वो black लेके घूम रहे हैं. It talks about the racial things, that the black is enjoying the youthful white, ऐसा करके lines है वहां. Brabantio gets angry. Brabantio gets angry. With Roderigo and Brabantio, they go and challenge Othello. They both go and challenge Othello. रास्ते में. They find him in the way. Brabantio girl's father, Roderigo, kind of another husband जो शादी होने वाली थी, another suitor. They find him on the way, they challenge him. Othello का एक beautiful dialogue है, वो लिख लो यहाँ पे. Keep thy swords in, or the dew might rust them. Yes. Keep thy swords in, or the dew might rust them. ये सब बॉलीवुड के डायलॉग्स यहीं से कॉपी होते हैं. He got married. Elopement. Othello, Desdemona, elopement, love marriage हो गई. ये जाता है भड़काता है. इसको शादी करनी थी. He wanted to marry. हाँ, he wanted to marry her, but she fell in love with Othello. Elopement हो गया, शादी हो गई. They challenge him. And Othello replies, keep thy swords in, or the dew might rust them. What does that mean? Remember राजकुमार? ये बच्चों के खेलने की चीज नहीं है. अगर हाथ लग जाए तो खून निकल आता है. ठीक है? सनी देओल ने भी बोला था ना दामिनी में, समझाओ इसे, ये खिलौने बाजार में बहुत मिलते हैं. He says this shows his level. At the time, the Duke gets information that the Turks have attacked. So all the people are summoned. So when they are about to have a fight or a scuffle, a messenger comes and tells them that Duke has called everyone. Duke ने बुलाया, चलो लड़ाई हो गई है, let's talk. So all of these people, they go in front of the Duke. Now the Duke, when they are planning and discussing about the war, Brabantio tells the Duke that my daughter has been seduced by Othello using witchcraft. He accuses Othello of witchcraft. कहता है ये जो बाहर से आया हुआ आदमी है जादू टोना करता है. ड्यूक तो राजा है, हिज किंग. Brabantio says that my daughter he has done some magic. In India we have casteism. Caste से बाहर शादी करना is a big thing. तो यहाँ तो पूरा race है. There are thousands of white people. She has left thousands of white people, got married to an African. The father is not able to digest it. And she has accepted this marriage proposal. So he comes with this, that this man is an outsider and he has done witchcraft. ये जादू टोना कर रहा है, necromancy. The word necromancy, the word witchcraft, it is directly connected to Orients. ये हमारे नाम पे डाल रखे हैं अंग्रेजों ने कि हम करते हैं. हाँ, अमेरिका में भी है सलेम विच ट्रायल्स वगैरह, बट यहाँ पे what they believe is that we Orientals, we people do witchcraft. अर्नेस्ट हेमिंगवे पढ़ना, फॉलोइंग द इक्वेटर. हम लोग इंडियन जगलर्स हैं, सपेरों का देश है, ऐसी हमारी इमेज बना रखी उन्होंने. अब ओथेलो कहता नहीं ऐसा कोई विचक्राफ्ट नहीं है. कॉल्ड डेस्डिमोना. Desdemona tells the king that it is a love marriage and Othello is her choice. So Desdemona comes and reveals it. वो आगे बता देती है किंग को that there is no kidnapping, there is no befooling or seduction, it is simple. He is my choice. So Duke says that I'm helpless. Now I cannot say anything if it is choice of the girl. So Duke doesn't help Brabantio. This is Act 1, Scene 3. Act 1, Scene 3. Because now you will have a very important line. Act 1, Scene 3. This is going to change the entire story. अब ड्यूक ने भी मना कर दिया है. ड्यूक भी कह रहा है कि कुछ नहीं हो सकता, I can't help you. Now this is the time Brabantio as a father becomes helpless and tells Othello, he speaks to Othello, look to her moor, if thou hast eyes to see. Look to her moor, if thou hast eyes to see. She has deceived her father and may thee. The theme of the story that actually will play the important role. Act 1, Scene 3. Repeated question of exam. Look moor. Moor kaun hai? Othello. If thou has eyes to see. What is this line? Thou has eyes to see. आंखें तो है उसके पास. फिर क्यों कह रहा है अगर आंखें हैं तो ध्यान से देख. He wants him to understand. Look more if thou has eyes to see. अगर देख सकता है, समझ सकता है तो समझ. He has deceived her father. Maybe. फिर तुम्हारा भी नंबर सकता है. When he speaks these lines, लिख लिया ना? Look to her more if thou has eyes to see. She has deceived her father and may thee. Act 1, Scene 3. Very important. याद रखना. She has deceived her father and may thee. Thee मतलब आप. अगर अपने फादर को धोखा दे सकती है तो आपको भी धोखा दे सकती है. फिर आप कौन हो? क्या लग रहा है this line? When he speaks this line, there is one person in the court who takes the note of it. Iago. Iago is there and he notes it that yes. Now we have some more characters. Let's write down these characters. Othello is the commander. He has some other juniors. Iago is one of them. Cassio is one of them. Iago and Cassio are one of them. Othello के juniors नहीं है. He is the commander. They are the lieutenants. Cassio is a young boy, charming boy, has a girl Bianca. His affair. Have you seen the Bollywood version? मैंने अभी तक नहीं देखी है. मेरी पेंडिंग लिस्ट में है. मेरी पेंडिंग लिस्ट में है. कई साल से पेंडिंग में है. हाँ, I have to watch it. मुझे वो गाना बहुत अच्छा लगता है उसका. नहीं. Why would I like बीड़ी जलेले जिगर से दिया? नो. क्या बात कर रहे हो यार? मेरा बीड़ी जलेले वाला फेवरेट नहीं है. दैट सुखविंदर सिंह धन धम धड़म धड़ैया. They were the introduction. The wordings, the music is class. ओमकारा का जो टाइटल सॉन्ग है दैट्स क्लास, वो फेवरेट है मेरा. तो ओथेलो का नाम ओमकारा है और डेस्डेमोना को डॉली मिश्रा बना रखा है उन्होंने, कैशियो को केसु फिरंगी बना रखे हैं, बियांका इज बिल्लो चमन बहार. आई डिड स्टडी ऑफ सर्टेन बुक्स. हाँ बस आइगो का नाम अलग है, आइगो इज नॉट हैविंग द सेम नेम. एक्चुअली 20th सेंचुरी लिटरेचर एंड बॉलीवुड करके मेरे पास 2-3 बुक्स हैं. एंड इफ यू हैव सीन मी टॉकिंग टू दिस मैन, वेलकम वाला जो कॉमेडियन था, द मैन हु सेज मेरी एक टांग नकली है, वो मेरे डायरेक्ट फ्रेंड है फिलहाल. मैंने उनको कई बार फंक्शन में भी इनवाइट किया हुआ, मेरे 1-2 इंटरव्यूज भी उनके साथ. तो आई वाज वर्किंग विद सम शॉर्ट फिल्म मेकर्स एंड डायरेक्टर्स. तो मेरा ये काम होता था उसमें जो फिल्म के पर्सपेक्टिव है सोसाइटी से रिलेटेड, और बहुत सारी चीजें हम यूट्यूब पे डाल नहीं पाते, मेरे बहुत सारे इंटरव्यूज हैं और माइक बेरी वगैरह इनके साथ भी हैं. तो वी डील विद दिस वन. इनफैक्ट इट वाज वन ऑफ माय प्लान टू इनवाइट मुश्ताक खान, द फेमस वेलकम कॉमेडी कैरेक्टर, मेरी एक टांग नकली है, इन माय क्लास. हाँ तो देखते हैं कभी क्या मिलता है मौका. आई टोल्ड यू नो वंस आई वाज अबाउट टू मीट सतीश कौशिक बट देन गॉट डिलेड. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है देखो, आइगो इज हियर, कैशियो इज हियर. Cassio is the charming personality. He has a beloved Bianca and he is favorite of Othello. Iago, his wife Emily. Iago is a wicked man, jealous man. Now one day, Othello promotes Cassio instead of promoting Iago. Iago is senior than Cassio. But when it comes to promote, Othello promotes Cassio by ignoring Iago. This makes Iago jealous of Othello and he starts conspiring. So what happens? Othello has 2 commanders. Iago is the senior commander, Cassio is the fresher one. But when the time comes to promote, Othello promotes Cassio over Iago. He ignores Iago, Cassio gets promoted. Here Iago gets complete hatred. अब उसको दिमाग खराब हो जाता है. Now he hates Othello and he wants to take revenge because he has been insulted. So what is the reason behind this? Though at the end Iago will not give a proper reason, it is the audience who understand. Iago keeps mum. At the end of the story, when Iago is questioned that why did you do so, he keeps mum. It is the readers and the audience, they read and understand that he got ignored at the time of promotion. Junior was promoted. Kiran Bedi ने resign कर दिया था. You know that? Kiran Bedi, the first female IPS officer, her junior got promoted. She deserved it. उन्होंने resign कर दिया था. तो ये होता रहता है. यहाँ junior promote हो गया. अब क्या होगा? He has already taken the note. He starts conspiring against Othello. अब story में देखो क्या होने वाला है. Othello and Desdemona, they are having a happy life. Othello has given her a hanky. एक रुमाल, a handkerchief. Othello has gifted her a hanky, a handkerchief, एक रुमाल. That he drops somewhere. It is found by, that hanky is found by Emily. Who is Emily? Iago's wife and servant of Desdemona. ये इसकी attendant है. So she has lost the hanky somewhere. Emily finds it. Emily doesn't know, but Iago knows it. Iago says, "Give it to me." Emily gives that hanky to her husband, Iago. अब ये hanky देखो कहां से कहां travel कर रहा है. Emily gives hanky to Iago. Iago drops that hanky in the wardrobe of Cassio. हैंकी किसका है? डेस्डेमोना का. जो रूम में नौकर है या नौकरानी है उसको मिल गया ये, और उसने अपने हस्बैंड को दे दिया मांगने पे. हस्बैंड ने क्या किया? दूसरे के घर पे रख दिया जाके. हैंकी gets planted in the wardrobe of Cassio. Cassio was a charming personality, a favorite of ladies. So kind of a person that Othello would believe. Iago starts telling Othello that there is something going on. Cassio has an affair with your wife. Iago बोलता ओथेलो को कि कुछ गड़बड़ है, ध्यान रखो. He gives them hints that I think there is something is going on. Cassio and your wife, and they're friends, they talk. Then one day what Iago does, Iago goes to meet Cassio, and Iago and Cassio, they talk about their love. Iago makes Cassio speak about affair. Iago makes Cassio speak about what? Affair. With whom? Bianca. But he's so evil, Iago tells Othello that I will talk to him, you just listen, and I will make him speak about the affair. Iago talks to Cassio. Are you dating her? So when he says her, he speaks it in a dim voice, Bianca. And he says, yeah, I'm dating with her. Then he makes her speak all other words, but whenever he uses the name of this girl, Bianca, he keeps his voice down so that Othello doesn't get to know the name. But Othello gets it that Cassio is confessing his affair. For Desdemona. Word play होता है यहाँ पे, word play. Cassio is talking about his affair, Bianca. But whenever Iago takes the name of Bianca, he is down, his voice is slow. It's not loud. So Othello doesn't get the name that he is talking about Bianca. But rest of the conversation, that is loud. Iago बोलता तुम्हें पता है तुम क्या कर रहे हो? सीरियस अफेयर है. ये बोलता है बियांका के पापा से बात हुई. फिर बड़ा लाइन. Othello को सिर्फ एक ही चीज समझ में आती है, because Othello is not Hamlet, he is not intellectual, he is called Moore, not educated one. Hamlet, Othello gets what Iago wanted him to convey. Got it? Then Iago tells Othello to check the room of Cassio. कहता देखा मैंने कहा था ना affair, there is some doubt, go find it, check it. What does Othello find in the room? Hanky. Othello has found the hanky. यहाँ पे एक पॉइंट नोट करना. Shakespeare uses the word whore for the first time. The word whore has been used 14 times. The word coined whore by Shakespeare. He coined it. The word prostitute was coined by other writer. Whore is the word coined by him. 14 times. उसको बार बार बोलते जाके. He takes the hanky, gets mad in anger. Also tells Iago to kill Cassio. That's a different story. That's a minor story you can ignore. Cassio doesn't get killed. Rodrigo gets killed. वो side story है. Rodrigo tries to kill Cassio. Cassio tries to kill Rodrigo. Rodrigo gets killed by Iago. Cassio is blamed over it. वो अलग story, छोटा story है. Now what happens? He goes to meet Desdemona. Desdemona is sleeping. She is in the bed. He just goes and starts strangulating. जाते ही गला दबा देता है, suffocates her. Emily comes in the room. Emily finds that he is trying to kill Desdemona. Emily tries to stop him. Emily says, what are you doing? Stop, stop. No. Desdemona defends her husband. Desdemona, she is being killed. उसका गला दब रहा है. फिर भी she is defending her husband. Still defending her husband. What does she say? भला है बुरा है जैसा भी. भला है बुरा है जैसा भी है, मेरा पति मेरा देवता है. She is dead. मार देता फिर. It means speak. Okay. Don't accept the tortures. Desdemona justifies that fine, I'm with my husband, don't speak between husband and a wife. Desdemona is dead. Emily starts crying, calling for help. Iago also comes. Iago is there. Emily has understood, because when Othello is killing Desdemona, he repeatedly talks about hanky. Emily tells Othello that it's my husband who has used the hanky. Iago tries to kill Emily. अपनी वाइफ को मारने की कोशिश करता, so that she cannot tell the truth. Defending Emily, Othello stabs Iago, but a cut, not a serious stab, normal stabbing. A normal stab. Iago survives. Emily confronts him that you stupid Moor, you credulous fool, you just killed her. Then the other army commanders come, they say that Othello, Iago, you all will be taken in the custody. You will be taken in the custody for killing your wife. Others will be taken in custody for other conspiracies. This is the time Othello stabs himself. Othello खुद को मार लेता है. Othello commits suicide. वाइफ को मार दिया, Iago को मारने की कोशिश की हल्का सा चाकू because of saving Emily, and then he dies. Othello is dead. Others ask Iago, what is the motive behind this thing? He doesn't answer anyone. He doesn't answer. They say, what has happened? Why did you do so? He doesn't answer. Cassio becomes the new general. Iago is scolded, sent to prison, and the play ends. And the play ends. The Act 1, Scene 3 line where the suspicion was planted in the brain of Othello by father Brabantio. In post-colonial racist literature, we call it exotic otherness. वो पहले से दिमाग में डालता है कि तुम inferior हो, वो superior है, तुम्हारा भी कभी न कभी नंबर लगेगा. And Othello knew this thing. He has been repeatedly called thick lips, black skin, rugged skin. के मल्टीपल नाम लिए जाते हैं. Othello को repeatedly black बोला जाता है, the black Moor. So Othello had that deep-rooted fear that yes, I may get deceived because a white woman will finally fall for a white man. So Cassio was far better, smarter than him. Othello had that doubt always in his mind. Iago just aired it, supported it. So the story ends with this thing. Now remember, I give you homework. Why Iago is not killed, especially in a story where Othello is a warrior, a cruel person who killed his own wife without even hesitation. Why Iago was not given a brutal punishment, brutal murder, brutal killing. In most of Shakespearean stories, all the villain they die. In most of Shakespearean tragedies, the villain they die, they do not survive, they are not left. So, अभी तक आंसर मिला किसी को? एक ने तो कुछ हल्का सा बताया था. Now this is the point that you have to note down. कितने दिन पहले होमवर्क दिया था मैंने आपको ये? 10-12 दिन हो गए? 15 दिन? अब अरे नहीं, इतनी फिलोसफी नहीं. What's the name? कोनिका नहीं, इतनी फिलोसफी नहीं. लाइफ को जीना ही पनिशमेंट है, क्या बात है. ये फिलोसफी तिहाड़ में दे दो, बहुत सारे फांसी वाले आराम जाएंगे. तो सब कहेंगे हाँ सर, ये भी कोई जिंदगी है. This was the time the government got changed and James I became the new king. James I became the new king. And when James I became the king of England after the death of Elizabeth, Elizabethan time 1558 to 1603. 1603, Elizabeth died, James I became the king. But James I was not from England, he was from Scotland. He was not an English king. And in Scotland, he was James VI. In Scotland, he was James VI. First point तो यही नोट करो, पहले समझ जाओ उसको अच्छे से. After Elizabeth, as Elizabeth was not married, Elizabeth had no successor. Elizabeth की शादी नहीं हुई थी, तो कोई बेटा बेटी कुछ नहीं था. So the relatives of Elizabeth, James I, he was ruling in Scotland, he was James VI. So English people, they requested that by the time we do not have our own king, please come and handle our empire. So that James VI from Scotland, he comes to take care of England. And in England, when he becomes the king, so in English dynasty, he is the first James. इससे पहले कौन कौन से थे? इससे पहले एडवर्ड है, हेनरी है, ठीक है, विलियम है. But James is first. So becomes James first in England. So technically he is not from England. So when James first becomes the English emperor, he announces this thing that I will do justice with my people. I will try to be a great king. And he says that my ideal is Augustus Caesar. So I will try to become like Augustus Caesar. James I बोलता है मैं Augustus Caesar बनने की कोशिश करूंगा. Who is Augustus Caesar? Nephew of Julius Caesar. one of the greatest ever king, Rome का सबसे greatest king, Augustus Caesar. Because of his name, the great writers are called Augustans. So he says that I will try to be. At that time there was Arthur. Arthur was a great man. People would say, no, I would like to become like Arthur. Here, he says, I will try to become an honest king, a good king, just like Augustus Caesar. So he declared himself a person who is following the ideals of Augustus Caesar. In Rome, when Augustus Caesar became the king after death of Julius Caesar, there was a civil war. Remember we studied Julius Caesar? Brutus, et tu Brutus. So the moment Julius Caesar died, a civil war started and many people got killed. Cinna, Sicca and all those people got killed. When Augustus Caesar came to throne, he established peace. उसने कहा बहुत हो गया civil war, peace. So when Augustus Caesar came to the throne of Rome, he launched Pax Romana. Please remember, ये बाहर किसी बुक में नहीं मिलेगा आसानी से. भूलना नहीं है, इसके साथ जस्टिस करना. Pax Romana. He launched an act called Pax Romana. Peace of Rome. जब ये राजा बना तो इसने आते बोला कि बहुत होगी, लड़ाई बंद करो. और लड़ाई को बंद करने के लिए नया कानून बनाया, पैक्स रोमोना, पीस ऑफ रोम. पैक्स रोमोना, पीस ऑफ रोम. He was inspired from him. He launched Pax Britannia. ये उसी से इंस्पायर्ड था, अपने गुरु से. He was inspired. He launched Pax Britannia, peace of Pax Britannia, peace of Britain. Now tell me this, in peace of Britain, peace of Rome, what was the most important thing? Law and order. जब पीस ऑफ रोम आया था उसमें क्या था? लॉ एंड ऑर्डर. पैक्स ब्रिटानिया में क्या आया? पीस ऑफ ब्रिटेन में क्या कॉन्सेप्ट था? लॉ एंड ऑर्डर. कानून व्यवस्था अच्छी हो गई, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर. That you cannot do judgment on your own hands. You must have faith in law and order. And this was the time Othello was being performed. राजा ने कहा कानून होगा, कानून. फिल्में देखी ना बॉलीवुड में, क्या होता है जब हीरो मारने वाला होता है विलन को? नहीं, ये तो भी नया टेस्ट है ना, तो लोग ब्लशर कर रहे हैं. एंड टाइम पे पुलिस आ जाती है और बोलते रुक जाओ, कानून को अपने हाथ में मत लो. लॉ एंड ऑर्डर. बोलते ना इसको कानून सजा देगा, तुम कुछ मत करो. Shakespeare is showing his kind of solidarity for the king, obviously for patronship or maybe to support the king, that we belong to you only. Othello में Iago is left upon the mercy of judiciary. Iago's treatment is done by judiciary. Iago's judgment is done by judiciary. The most sinner and villain kind of character, उसको जिंदा छोड़ा गया, so that कानून अपना काम करेगा. क्योंकि शेक्सपियर को पैट्रनशिप चाहिए था. Elizabeth was also one of his patrons. So this is a kind of show that yes, we believe in law and order. Maybe they must have got orders from the king that do not show violence in your plays, or make sure that the message is given that law and order is everything. तो क्या हुआ यहाँ पे? लॉ एंड ऑर्डर स्टैब्लिश हो गया. याद रहेगा? स्टोरी कहां पे सेट है? वेनिस. वेनिस कहां पे आता है? इटली. इटली और रोम सेम कंट्रीज हैं. तो रोमन कंट्री, पैक्स रोमोना, पैक्स ब्रिटानिया, सारे रेफरेंसेस हैं. दैट्स व्हाई इयागो इज नॉट किल्ड बाय ओथेलो. हैमलेट माफ कर दे चल जाएगा, मान लेते हैं हैमलेट माफ कर सकता, बट ओथेलो इसने वाइफ को माफ नहीं करा. एनी क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड टू इट? राइट डाउन सम कोट्स. क्या? Iago doesn't die. Iago is left on the mercy. एक दो चीजें लिख लो आप. Othello kills himself. There is a famous line by Iago that you have to write. Iago की famous line है, ये लिखनी है आपको. हाँ, that's a famous line, also called the theme of the play. Oh, beware my lord. Oh, beware my lord. Oh, beware my lord of jealousy. Of jealousy. Or beware my lord of jealousy. See, he himself is jealous and is telling others that people should never get jealous. लोगों को jealous नहीं होना चाहिए. Beware my lord of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster. It is the green-eyed monster, the personification of jealousy. Green-eyed monster. ये हरी आंख वाला राक्षस है. It is the green-eyed monster. Which do mock the meat it feeds upon. A famous quote है ये. Theme is jealousy. Othello was jealous. Iago was jealous. Othello was jealous of his wife or Cassio. Rival. अब यहां पे हमर्शिया क्या है? What is the हमर्शिया of Othello? Jealous, possessiveness, and that possessiveness is next level. That he killed his wife. So hamartia means human nature. Jealousy is human nature. A little bit jealousy is fine. That's human nature. कई बार हमारे कोई दोस्त अच्छी जगह पे घूम रहे होते तो हम लेते नहीं, हम जेलस कहां घूम रहे हैं, तो थोड़ा बहुत चलता है, इट्स फाइन. Jealousy is also required. If nobody is getting jealous of you, why would you be happy? चाहिए तो. कौन नहीं चाहता मुझसे कोई ना जले? टेलीविजन एडवर्ट में आता था, नई गाड़ी बढ़िया है, नया टीवी बढ़िया. Jealousy is required, but in excess, or this jealousy to a level where he kills his own wife. Othello's hamartia is another thing, that he's a credulous fool. He believes anything, but he has been introduced like that. Hamlet doesn't believe things. Hamlet takes his time to justify. Othello is not introduced as an intellectual. He is repeatedly called a savage, a tribal. उसे बार बार मूर बोल रहे हैं. जब वो बोल रहे हैं कि वो civilized नहीं है, then why are you expecting a civilized behavior? So that goes in his favor. That here we have sympathy that fine, Othello was just a man with little wits, mostly a warrior, bad with words, good with action, good with swords. Then another important thing, there are multiple words used for Othello for racial attacks. We have to write down those words. Racial attacks जो है ना, और भी references हैं. If you go for feminist study, Brabantio calls Desdemona his property. अपनी डॉटर को अपनी प्रॉपर्टी बोलता हो. इफ यू वांट टू राइट यू कैन राइट इट. इसकी फेमिनिस्ट स्टडी भी है. इंपॉर्टेंट स्टडी रेशियल है, so you can ignore feminist study, but if you want to write from feminist perspective, there is one point. Brabantio declares his daughter Desdemona as his property. When she says मेरी लाइफ है, मैंने शादी कर ली है, आपको क्या दिक्कत है? He says मेरी प्रॉपर्टी है, मेरा कंसेंट होना जरूरी है, my property. So Brabantio declares Desdemona as his property. This is the word. Roderigo tells Brabantio. Roderigo tells Brabantio, who is an old black ram. Ram is that animal. किसी कार का नाम आया रैम तो लोग उसको राम राम कर रहे हो, रैम है. ठीक है, so it's a wild animal, bucky kind of. Tapping your white ear. Racial comments there. This is how Othello has been repeatedly called, narrated. वगैरह देखो वो कैसा आदमी तुम्हारी वाइट जो डॉटर है, वाइट डॉटर उसके साथ घूम रहा है. दूसरा देखो, he has been repeatedly called thick lips. Africans normally have thick lips, which gives him a reference that he was an African. Black ram is tapping your white ear. EWE. Eve नहीं है ये, EVE नहीं है, U है for girl. Thick lips is used for Othello. Mostly Brabantio use करते हैं. दूसरा लिखो. Again it is spoken to Brabantio. Rodrigo बोलता है, you will have your daughter covered with. Rodrigo speaks again. You will have your daughter covered with. You will have your daughter covered. Cover करना. You will have your daughter covered with a Barbary horse. Barbary horse, that dark color horse, is making a remark. The racial slurs are mostly used by Rodrigo, Brabantio, and Iago. These are the people who use racial slurs against them. Now comes a very important point. Done? These three people primarily use these racial words against them. So in case a question comes, maybe a tough question only, make a right pair who would abuse Othello on racial grounds. So these three people are there. Brabantio and Iago naturally have a hate. Rodrigo is equally involved there. So it's not that tough question to remember. See, Othello ko normally nahi padha jata now. When the post-colonial studies became prevalent, people started looking for racial studies. This is called racial segregation. Apartheid बोलते हैं इसको. When you study African literature, Afro-American, you'll find it out that there was a big issue of white and black, and then white, black, and brown. A brown man's journey through Western civilization. Who has written that book? Nirasi Chaudhary, Passage to England. Subtitle, A Brown Man's Journey Through Western Civilization. White man's burden. Rudyard Kipling said, we are white men, we are superior. There's a writer, her name is Meena or something kind of name. Her famous work is Anita and Me. In a famous work, Anita and Me, it's a post-colonial work. There is a girl and she lives in another country abroad. So just like the kids we ask, what do you want to be? A doctor? What do you want to be? A policeman? What do you want to be? This, that. When they ask that girl, what do you want to be? She says, a blonde. I want to become white. Then, bluest eye. The girl wants to have blue eyes like white people. Then, Blood Knot, written by Athol Fugard. One brother black, one brother white. Black brother is in love with the white girl but not able to tell that I am black. So when you study these things, you'll get to know about the racial things. It is really severe. बहुत serious है. How many of you know about Jim Crow law? Jim Crow law पढ़ा है? इसके बाद मैं आपको एक थॉमस राइमर का रेफरेंस दूंगा. Jim Crow law. All are equal but some are more equal. लिख लो, all are equal but some are more equal. सब बराबर है but कुछ ज्यादा बराबर है. All are equal but some are more equal. Jim Crow law. एक मूवी है ना Men in Black, all are equal but some are more equal. It will also be in animal form, I know. जब वो 7 commandments देंगे उसमें आएगा. एक विल स्मिथ की मूवी आई थी Men in Black Part 2. उसमें वो टाइम ट्रेवल करते हैं, पास्ट में जाते हैं, तो ही इज ड्राइविंग अ गुड कार, पुलिस को उसको रोक लेती है, तो वो बोलता है just because it is 1860s and a black man driving a good car doesn't mean it's stolen. It was a law. The schools, the malls, the streets, the colonies were strictly fixed for black people. Washrooms only for whites. They were not allowed. Jim Crow law that was making rules only for whites. Blacks की colonies बना दी गई थी. You must have heard about Harlem Renaissance, negritude. So the colony of the blacks, they were separated. That yes, you are equal, but you cannot enter in the territory of the whites. Cinema hall में अच्छी seats whites के लिए, अच्छे washrooms whites के लिए, even the good beaches, अच्छे beaches whites के लिए, blacks were not allowed. That was Jim Crow law. Then you know the fights. One of the famous writer who has written Uncle Tom's Cabin. हाँ, ये नाम याद करो, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. जिनको नाम नहीं याद है, when you get nervous that we do not know these names, just remember this thing. You have come to this place for the same thing. Uncle Tom's Cabin. जिसको नहीं पता है आज घर पे जाके पढ़ना. Uncle Tom's Cabin. Class work है. I cried when I read this. बहुत प्यारा कैरेक्टर है. Uncle Tom's Cabin, written by Harriet Beecher Stowe. There are 3-4 books I cried when I read. Death of Salesman, Arthur Miller, another classic work. Death of Salesman तो मेरा इतना मन था कि मुझे Death of Salesman में विली लॉमन मिल जाए कहीं. I want to hug him. इतना unique, innocent character. This person writes Uncle Tom's Cabin, life of a middle-aged African, how he lives. He's not even considered human being. I can just tell you about this work because I want you to read it for knowledge purpose, for learning purpose, for exam purpose. Abraham Lincoln met this girl. संजना कौन है Abraham Lincoln? हाँ? One of the greatest presidents of America, also called the first president, Abraham Lincoln. When Abraham Lincoln met this girl, he said, so you are the little lady who started this great war. देखो, color segregation, racial issues पे जो war start हुआ था, Abraham Lincoln was one of the first person, a white man, to fight against slavery. He said, बंद करो slavery. So he met her and said, so you are the little lady who started this great war. So you are the little lady who started this great war. There is a writer from Sudan. Tayyib Salih, another famous writer from Sudan, the greatest post-colonial writer, South Asian post-colonial writer, has written a famous work, Seasons of the Migration to the North. ये normally किसी syllabus या books में नहीं है, but ये net के questions में आते हैं. इसमें character था मुस्तफा. He is fascinated with West. He has read Othello. He has read the good sides. What are the good sides of Othello? Like we criticize Othello for this thing that he was having racial issues, but at the same time, he was also loved by a white woman. एक तरफ तो हम कह रहे हैं उसको बार बार ब्लैक बोल रहे हैं, बेइज्जती कर रहे हैं, लेकिन वहां पे ऐसे लोग भी तो हैं जो उससे शादी कर रहे हैं. Desdemona didn't find black color. She fell in love. It means there are genuine human beings. Duke. How Othello became a commander? Why is not an ordinary soldier? It means he was promoted for his skills. It means he was respected for his talent. So Mustafa is fascinated. He thinks West will respect your talent. So if you go to West, just like Othello, but then he's a charming person, talkative, extrovert, friendly to everyone. Then finally he goes to USA. चला जाता है अमेरिका में. कलर इश्यूज अमेरिका में ज्यादा हैं, इंग्लैंड में कम है, क्योंकि अमेरिकन ही ले गए थे ज्यादा. और अमेरिका को किसने बसाया? इंग्लैंड वालों ने. द फर्स्ट सेटलर्स इन अमेरिका वाज फ्रॉम इंग्लिश. दैट्स द रीजन वी हैव द एरिया कॉल्ड न्यू इंग्लैंड, न्यूफाउंडलैंड. He goes to America, lives there for 5-6 years, returns, and is totally a changed man. The man who was talkative, the man who used to be friendly with everyone, now keeps mum, isolated, doesn't mix up, and whenever he gets chance to speak, he repeats these lines. There is no Othello. Othello was a lie. So he's like these racial things, ethnic things. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? अब एक रेफरेंस है थॉमस राइमर का, लिखो. थॉमस राइमर्स रेफरेंस. ये जो ग्रेट ट्रेजेडीज है ना, वी हैव टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड विद देम. इनसे कहीं से कुछ भी आ सकता है. थॉमस राइमर, there's a reference by Thomas Rhymer, you have to write it. He wrote in 1693 a short view of tragedy. A short view of tragedy. 1693. Remember the date. A short view of tragedy. 1693. हाँ, बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत बढ़िया. Poetic justice coin किया था थॉमस राइमर ने. He was a critic. Those who want to recall his name, yes, Thomas Rhymer is the same guy who has coined the term poetic justice. Remember, we have talked about poetic justice in G of Malta. The punishment planned, decided by the writer. राइटर की कहानी में गॉड कौन है? राइटर. ऑथर जो है वही गॉड है, तो पनिशमेंट भी वही चूज करता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड पोइटिक जस्टिस. जैसे कोई बहुत क्रूअल विलेन हो, somebody who is very cruel, so audience wants his bad ending. If you have done that kind of cruelty, even as an audience, you also want the worst thing to happen to him. And what if that villain is just normally killed or left? Audience not satisfied. गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर देखिए ना, गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर. उसमें जो रामाधीर सिंह है, जिसको वो वॉशरूम में जाके गोली पे गोली मारता है, वो 4-5 बंदूक मंगाता है. गोली खत्म हो रही, मंगाया जा रहा है, गोली चलो. व्हाई? दैट वाज अ सीन. इट वाज एक्चुअली शोइंग द एंगर ऑफ द जनरेशंस. बाप का, दादा का, सबका गुस्सा दिखा रहा था वो, कि तुम्हारे एक की वजह से हमारी पूरी लाइफ चेंज हो गई. तो इफ योर विलन हैज डन वर्स्ट, ऑडियंस इमोशनली वांट्स द वर्स्ट पनिशमेंट फॉर द विलन. जैसा तुमने किया है वैसा तुम्हें मिले. तो पोइटिक जस्टिस इज इन द हैंड्स ऑफ द ऑथर. डिलीवर द जस्टिस सो दैट द ऑडियंस फील दैट दे हैव गॉट द जस्टिस. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? कोई न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब चला दे, न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब, 10 लाख लोग मर गए. अब उसकी पनिशमेंट कैसी होनी चाहिए? What should be the punishment of a man who had just dropped a nuclear bomb? Technical mistake. अगर उसको 1.5 साल 2 साल की सजा दे तो जाने दो, गलती से बटन दब गया तो. What if that person starts pretending to be mad? I'm mentally unstable, I'm sorry. According to law, let's forget nuclear. The Damini case, Nirbhaya case, the boy who was most brutal to her was below 17, 18. So the country wanted to kill him, but then he was left, he was spared, because the law has rules. His identity has been kept a secret. उसका चेहरा तक पब्लिकली दिखा दे तो कोई भी मार देगा उसको जाके. So only selective people, they know who is he, where is he, maybe he's reforming, maybe he's becoming a new person. But at that time, what was the anger? The anger was that what they have done to that girl, they should be given the same treatment. That was poetic justice. कि अगर कोई तुरंत ऐसा कर दे या उस लेवल पे पनिशमेंट. ठीक है, got it? Now talk about this. A short view of tragedy. It's a work of criticism. He's dealing with the current day tragedy. He talks about Othello, the play. देखो उसने Othello के लिए क्या बोला है. For Othello, he says, write down. It's his views on tragedies, current day tragedies. Write down his views on Othello. He says the aim of the play, the moral of the story, or you can say the target or the aim of the play was, put it in inverted comma, a caution to all maidens, kind of warning, caution, a caution to all maidens, maiden girls, a caution to all maidens, M-A-I-D-E-N, maidens of quality. It was a warning to the girls of quality, comma, quality how, without their parents' consent, without, quality how, H-O-W how, without their parents' consent, how without their parents' consent, they run away with blackamoors. Without their parents' consent, they run away with blackamoors. It was a caution to the maidens of quality, how without their parents' consent, they run away with the moors. How without their parents' consent, they run away with blackamoors. Did you get it? वो कह रहे हैं कि ओथेलो का व्हाट इज द थीम. इमेजिन आपकी क्लास में आप जाके बोलो हाँ मैंने ये सीखा है, टीचर तो क्लास से निकाल रहे, आई एम श्योर. व्हाट डू यू लर्न फ्रॉम ओथेलो? सर यही होता है दूसरी जाति में शादी करने से. ये कह रहा है. He says this play is actually giving a moral message to the girls that if you are getting married without the consent of your parents, this will happen. Is it right or wrong? Wrong है ना, लेकिन माइंडसेट है ये. दिस इज माइंडसेट. वो फ्रिज वाला केस हुआ था अभी, श्रद्धा केस. सारे कह रहे थे और करो, दिल्ली में जाके और घूमो और लिव इन में रहो, यही होगा. अरे ऐसा नहीं होता यार. ये थोड़ी है कि किसी एक क्राइम को उठा के पूरी दुनिया को जस्टिफाई कर दिया. ज्योति मौर्य के नाम पे दुनिया में सब लड़कियों को पढ़ने भेजोगे तो ये होगा. दिस इज डीप रूटेड पेट्रियार्की. दे फाइंड वन वुमन, स्टार्ट ब्लेमिंग एवरीवन. मैंने ज्योति मौर्य के केस में डिफेंस में एक वीडियो बनाई थी. एक कोचिंग कह रही है हम उसके हस्बैंड को फ्री में पढ़ाएंगे, आईएएस बना रहे हैं उसके हस्बैंड को. तो मैंने डिफेंस में वीडियो बनाई. मैं दिस इज स्टूपिड. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट्स द पर्सनल लाइफ, मीडिया में आनी नहीं चाहिए. और आ गई है तो कोई हस्बैंड अपनी वाइफ से लिखवा रहा है, लिखो तुम कोचिंग करने जा रही हो, किसी और से शादी नहीं करो. दिस काइंड ऑफ स्टूपिड थिंग्स. वॉच माय वीडियो. फोटो लगाई मैंने उन सबकी. और फिर कमेंट्स पढ़ना. 10-20 जो लड़कियां वो बोल रही है हाँ सर सही बोल रहे हो, बाकी पता क्या बोल रहे हैं, तुम्हारे साथ होगा तो पता चलेगा. बाकी लिख रहे तुम्हारे साथ होगा तो पता चलेगा. तो मेरे साथ होगा नहीं होगा बात की बात है, बट जो लिख रहे हैं तुम्हारे साथ होगा, उनके घरों में वो लड़कियों को कभी पढ़ने बाहर नहीं भेजेंगे. तो वन केस यूज्ड फॉर पॉलिटिकल पर्पसेस टू टेल women stay in control. This is what Kate Millett studies, sexual politics, that there is a lot of politics around us, so that we never raise a question, we never raise words, we never demand equality. देखो क्या कह रहा है, कह रहा देख लो और कर लो शादी, जाओ यही होगा. हाँ तो वो रेशियल है ना, वो कह रहा है कि देखो एटलीस्ट वो क्या है हमारे यहाँ पे क्या है ना, जो रियलिटीज है ना, हम लोग वी आर लिविंग टू टाइप्स ऑफ लाइफ. एक होती है शेडो, एक होती है परसोना. जैसे नॉर्थरॉप फ्राई स्टडीज दिस थिंग एंड सेज वी हैव टू टाइप्स ऑफ आइडेंटिटी. Persona is what we show to the world. Shadow, what we are. Shadow is something either we know or the close members. And if we take the reference of C.S. Young, it is unconscious. Sometimes we also know who we are. We all praise Bhagat Singh. We all praise Bhagat Singh. But when it will come individually, no father would want his son to become Bhagat Singh. कोई चाहेगा जा बेटा देश के लिए आवाज उठा, बम फोड़ दे. We praise Bhagat Singh because Bhagat Singh fought against Britishers. But Britishers के लिए कौन है वो? के लिए टेररिस्ट है. तो ये पर्सपेक्टिव्स है ना, बदलते रहते हैं. हीर रांझा को हम कितनी भी तारीफ कर ले पर कोई अपने घर में हीर नहीं चाहता. ठीक है, दिस इज परसोना एंड शैडो. दुनिया के लिए हम क्या है और हम एक्चुअली क्या है. एक और लिख लो. Charles Lamb, Mary Lamb. Charles Lamb, Mary Lamb. Praises Desdemona. Charles Lamb, Mary Lamb, brother sister. Charles Lamb, Mary Lamb. इनकी भी बहुत प्यारी कहानी है. Charles Lamb, Mary Lamb, they praise Desdemona for choosing Othello. Great essayist Charles Lamb, and also a great human being, Mary Lamb, brother and sister, they praise Desdemona for choosing a man for his talents, not for his color. एक क्वेश्चन है सबसे. Charles Lamb, Mary Lamb, they are praising Desdemona for ignoring his black color and marrying him for his talent. Can we, oh, okay, can we say Charles Lamb, Mary Lamb are racist or not? Charles Lamb racist है कि नहीं है? But वो कहते रहे कि Desdemona is a sweet woman, is good lady. She ignored the blackness of Othello, still praised. Yes, this is soft racism. Soft racism है. अगर मैं बोलूं नहीं नहीं मेरे लिए लड़के लड़कियां इक्वल हैं और मैं किसी लड़के को बोलूं जाने देना यार, बैठने देना उसको, लड़की आगे बैठने दे उसको, इट मीन्स आई एम सेक्सिस्ट. ये जो इनइक्वालिटी कॉन्सेप्ट है ना, रेसिस्ट है. नहीं नहीं हम तो लड़कियों को बहुत सपोर्ट करते हैं, हम तो चाहते हैं वो आगे बढ़े, हमने तो अलाउ कर रखा है. अलाउ करने वाले आप कौन हो? हाँ वो तो है, वो तो है, वो तो है. नहीं हमारे घर में तो आजादी है, बाकी 5 बजे आते, हम 6 बजे तक देते. तो चार्ल्स लैम एंड मैरी लैम, they are saying that Desdemona is a good woman because she ignored the blackness of the color, praises the talent. But why he is reminding? ये यूनिक क्वेश्चन पता क्यों पूछ रहा हूं? जोसेफ कॉनरेड, he wrote a famous work Heart of Darkness, 1899 के आसपास का वर्क है. राइट ऑन दिस लाइन. ये तो मजा ऑफलाइन का, अपने आप ही लेक्चर बन जाता है. जोसेफ कॉनरेड, I will teach you this man in modern literature, Polish English writer, famous work Heart of Darkness. 10-11 questions in exam, आता ही रहता है. Heart of Darkness. You all know famous hero Kurds, Charles Marlowe, all these things, Mr. Kurds, he dead. Joseph Conrad wrote Heart of Darkness to protest against colonization, racial inequalities. He wrote Heart of Darkness to show the horrors of colonization, horrors of slavery. क्या दिखाना चाहता था ये वर्क में? कि स्लेवरी गलत बात है, लोकलाइट्स, ट्राइबल्स, नेटिव्स, इनको गुलाम मत बनाओ. अच्छी कहानी है, इट्स अ गुड थिंग. अ व्हाइट मैन, मिस्टर कर्ड्स, he gets to know about the atrocities done by the white people. A white man turning towards white, understanding the atrocities what we have done to others. तो इतनी बढ़िया बुक लिखने के बाद, ठीक है, समझ में आया? समझना. इधर नदीम, अनामिका, क्या लिखा इसने? स्लेवरी बैड है, हम व्हाइट लोग ब्लैक्स के साथ क्या कर रहे हैं? गलत कर रहे हैं. But then Chinua HB criticized this book and called him bloody racist. तो ये तो racist है ही नहीं, ये तो कह रहे हो कि नहीं होना चाहिए. In 1975, a lecture given by Chinua HB, the greatest writer of African literature, the famous work, his lecture's name is Image of Africa. Image of Africa. This was the lecture, Image of Africa, Racism in Conrad's Heart of Darkness. The complete lecture was Image of Africa, Racism in Conrad's Heart of Darkness. He delivered this lecture by 1975. Image of Africa, Racism in Conrad's Heart of Darkness. In this lecture, because it was a lecture in a university in front of the scholars and the writers from the world, representative, everybody was there. During his speech, his lecture, he called Joseph Conrad a bloody racist. जबकि जोसेफ कॉनरेड अवॉइड कर रहा, कह रहे नहीं, आपको रेसिज्म नहीं होना चाहिए, रेसिज्म मत करो, रेसिज्म गलत बात है. He called him bloody racist. He called him bloody racist. Chinua HB, greatest writer of African literature. Things fall apart, no longer at ease. Era of man, era of God, era of man, era of God. Anthills of Savannah. We'll study all these. पढ़ेंगे हम सारा. क्या किया इसने? इसको bloody racist बोला. पर क्यों? Conrad तो लिख रहा है ना. Conrad is against the slavery. Why? Because in Heart of Darkness he repeatedly uses the word nigger, nigger, nigger. Nigger, negro, nigger, negro. Negro is the word you can't use. यूएसए में 5 साल की जेल हो जाएगी आपको. 5 साल की जेल हो जाएगी. It's a sensitive thing. In fact, in all your Hollywood movies, there is 1 or 2 black characters. ये भी शायद कुछ उनका अंडरस्टैंडिंग है या रूल है. और इसीलिए जो मूवीज आई अभी मार्वल की, वकांडा फॉरएवर एंड ऑल, दे आर वेलकम बिकॉज अफ्रीकन लिटरेचर को थोड़ा अच्छे से दिखाया है. अफ्रीकन कल्चर, अफ्रीकन प्रैक्टिस, हाँ सब कुछ है. Because the idea of black and white, obviously it is created. एक सूडान का प्रेसिडेंट है, उसने बोला था जब तक व्हाइट कार के ब्लैक टायर होंगे ना तब तक ये चेंज नहीं होगा. अच्छा, who wants to end this color issue? You all want to end this color issue? And what about those fair and handsome companies? Will they ever come with advertisements that it's okay, color doesn't matter, and even if it matters, it is given by God, so be proud of it, it's okay. And imagine the world scenario had it been Africans colonizing us. Imagine London, England की जगह अफ्रीका होता, अफ्रीका इंडिया में आता, अफ्रीका ने पूरा कब्जा किया होता. So the black and white concept would have been changed. We would go to the shop, Fair and Lovely है black वाला. Am I looking black? Yeah, when you study this thing, you'll get to know the color issues and all. एक राइटर है बहुत अच्छा, उसको पढ़ना आप, एथल फुगर्ट, बहुत अच्छी कहानी लिखता है. Take this homework, पढ़ के आना इसको. This is the homework for you. Athol Fugard, famous writer. Blood Knot. Story of 2 brothers, one black, one white. I'll ask questions. Uncle Tom's Cabin भी पढ़ना है. I'll ask questions from Uncle Tom's Cabin. Did I give you 3rd book for homework? Heart of Darkness भी पढ़ना है. जो लोग इसको अप्रैल मई में पढ़ेंगे ना, अभी आप अपनी तरफ से पढ़ो. I will give you scholarly lectures on those things. तो मुझे पढ़ाने में असली मजा आएगा ना, वो थ्योरीज वगैरह में इनमें ही आएगा. ये तो हिस्ट्री से पढ़ा के बोर हो गए हूँ. ये तो क्या पढ़ना पड़ रहा है. आज कौन कौन सी कहानी पढ़ोगे? नो नीड टू पैनिक. कहां से पढ़ना है? टेक स्पार्क नोट्स, रीड इट फ्रॉम स्पार्क नोट्स. प्लॉट, थीम, मोटिव, 3 things. What is the story, plot? What are the themes, motive? If you find 1 or 2 good characters, read the characters also. 3 books today. Okay? See you tomorrow. अभी अंकिता मैम की क्लास नहीं है. कल हम क्लास करेंगे. Literature में we will be finishing King Lear, Macbeth, both are great tragedies, and we are almost done with Shakespeare. And then second part में Indian start करेंगे, Indian literature. Be prepared with these things, or I will also have a rapid fire tomorrow. See you all. Take care.